from the government, and I'm here to help.
Take a look, it's in a book.
Some members of the community use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda.
Let's watch Figure It Out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the We Figured It Out podcast. I'm your boy Michael.
And I'm Matt.
And we've got Brandon back again. Every time he's got something for us, it's enough knowledge that if you say no, you're a loser in my book. I want to hear it. I want to hear what it is. You get reference material, you get more reading you can look into. So that is what we're here for. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing all right, and thank you for that. I think I was doing a Firmamental, and he was one of the guys there. He was saying, you know what? I neatly organize all your complaints in the trash, so go ahead, send them in. I was like,
Yep.
yeah, because there's sometimes I'm like, it's a 4.5-hour episode. You didn't even write what you disliked. You just, like, your greatest contribution to the kingdom of heaven was hitting dislike on a video because you didn't like the presentation or the guy talking.
Yes.
Whoop-de-doo, saint. Come and receive your rewards. You know, it's kind of where I'm at, where I'm like, this is really pathetic at this point, dude.
I agree. I hear it. I see it. I'm like, all right, whatever with some of these people.
But dude, I'm over here like, I don't care. Like, if you literally sat through a whole message where two brothers in Christ are literally just sharing their hearts, getting a good message out there, and you don't have time to dig into the additional stuff that I reference. You don't have time to think about how it applies to your modern world, or you're mad at me for something I said on, Instagram, or I blocked you, or I'm like, I don't care anymore, dude. I'm like, go ahead, shoot me. There's nothing more you can do.
I feel like the more you're making haters, the more popular it has to get. That's the point, Yeah. They
No
drive
such
the
thing
algorithm.
as bad publicity.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, okay, unless you're Kanye or Bryce Mitchell, right?
It's getting dark. Kardashians.
Dang.
Nice. So, anyways, we will let you take the floor away, and
For
as
sure.
always, the share should be on.
Yes. Aha! I love how it's getting kind of normal with the people I do these on the reg with.
Yep.
So can you see this full screen?
It is in the. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a glitch. I'll be mindful of that. So yeah, the 33rd Olympics, Apollyon rises. Now, I did this show with another individual last year. Fortunately, she never forwarded it to me. So I kind of wanted to throw this both for your audience / my audience. Who knows? That might have been the last Olympics. I don't know. Thought it was worthy of mention because of the 33rd Olympics. Again, a lot of my stuff I'm gleaning off of what other people have found. Some of it is additional stuff. I was like, this is something I didn't see you guys tap onto. But it's more so just saying, all right, we've pulled it all together from everybody. Now we're going to throw it up here for a presentation. If it gives you a little bit of an encouragement. I really liked how AI put the all-seeing eye in.
Yeah. It almost kind of looks like the whole image looks like a seraphim angel almost to me. Like if you blurred your eyes and squinted.
Yes, that was somewhat the ideal I was doing when I was typing it in there. And that's what I like, because when you understand the symbolism world, you kind of know what you're going for when you're typing it in there. And then when they actually do it, you're like,
yes.
So
it's also creepy too that it already kind of has like, okay, I know where you're going with this.
You're like, you're speaking my language. I really shouldn't be doing this, but it's off hours, so don't tell the boss.
Yeah, but then you get it to try to do like other stuff, like add crosses in, and it's like, no, I don't. How does that? It doesn't
Peace
work.
sign? What's that?
Yeah, like paints it.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, as always, I always like talking a little bit about the history, as opposed to just throwing random things out there. We just go right into the symbolism. Like, what's the buildup here? So why did Hercules create the Olympics, allegedly according to lore? Well, Hercules was famous for his great strength. He was not only strong, but Hercules was also an amazing athlete. And according to the Greek myths, he held the first Olympic Games to honor his father, the powerful Greek god Zeus. The original Olympic sports, including running, races, jumping contests, wrestling, and boxing.
I like
So
jumping contests.
I was at you guys probably wouldn't know what that is being out where you are, but there's a chain of restaurants in New England known as Friendly's, and I used to work there. And I used to work the fountain area, aka where the ice creams were made and whatnot. And I was trying to see a top of the ice machine because we had to see if it was full, needed to be filled or not. Because sometimes they'd have me going back, get the ice, chop it up, put it in top. And I couldn't see, but I was doing like this little jumping thing, and somebody was making fun of the way that I was jumping. And I said, "Well, listen, over in freaking Africa, that's how they determine a mate in some tribes. So shush,
Very true. And you're like, I can do this a lot longer than you, so I'm getting
white
a
boys
mate.
can't jump." Some movies taught me some things.
That's a great movie.
Um, so although the ancient games were staged in Olympia, Greece from 776 BC through 393 AD, it took 1,503 years for the Olympics to return. The first modern Olympics were held in Athens, Greece in 1896. The man responsible for its rebirth was a Frenchman named Baron Pierre de Coubertin, who presented the idea in 1894. So again, just little things where I'm going, okay, so that's kind of like a phoenix coming up from the ashes, is it not? Something from old being resurrected back to new.
They just didn't do it for almost 1,800 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, you know what? I skipped leg day. We can put it off another year.
It's crazy to think that, yeah, it's crazy to think about that in like history, you know. I don't know, 1,800 years we did without it, but we're bringing it right back.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
got the files right back here in a box.
it's like, oh, is that what that depiction is? So the
Crazy.
Olympic Games originated in ancient Greece as a religious festival. Don't tell me your, sports doesn't have any of that. Held in honor of Zeus, the king of the gods and father of the Greek gods and goddesses. The first recorded Olympics took place in 776 BC in Olympia, Greece, and the games were held every 4 years thereafter. The name Olympics comes from Mount Olympus, the home of the Greek gods. This is basic Google stuff. Sure, you can buy other books. I'm just showing, you can look it up. This is not wiki. This is just basic history.
Yep.
But when you go into the dark side of the internet, I wanted to know a little bit more about the founder. So, Brave Browser, thank you for your contribution to this insight.
Yes.
So, this is a book you can get, The Idealist, the historical novel of love, war, tragedy, triumph, and the French visionary who founded the modern Olympic Games, the gentleman we just read about. So, Coubertin, might be butchering it, don't really care, Freemason. That's the first thing that I type in. Mason, Jesuit, cross-reference the person's name. Something sometimes does pop up and you go, hee hee hee. So, Pierre de Coubertin, the founder of the modern Olympics Games, had ties to Freemasonry. While he was not publicly declared a Freemason, his family had a history of involvement with the organization. His grandfather was a Freemason, and his great uncle was a priest with liberal and socialist tendencies. Freemasons have connections.
Socialism always goes hand in hand with that, doesn't it?
And that goes back to the Talmud, as we covered in that other episode. The Masonic symbols in Olympic iconography. The Olympics Games 5-ring logo and flag designs by Coubertin featured colors representing the 5 continents: Europe, Asia, Africa, Oceania, and the Americas. Some have interpreted this design as having Masonic undertones, with the 5 rings symbolizing the 5 continents and the colors echoing the Masonic use of blue, yellow, black, green, and red.
Yep.
Surely you jest. No, no, no. Masonic pillars and doves. In a statue of Coubertin in Atlanta's Centennial Olympic Park, the 2 columns, very interesting, with 2 pillars of Freemasonry, columns, fill it in whatever you want, on either side of him represent the Masonic pillars of Boaz and Yakin, which are found in every Masonic lodge. Doves have 5-ring Vesica Pisces logos, symbolize peace, reflecting the Freemason aim towards purity and divinity. Masonic pillars
trippy.
and doves. Go ahead.
I said I like that. That's crazy though. This is the Masonic Pillars of Boaz, right? You showed us that's like the card you showed us
Yes, like the card. There's several
with the
depictions of
ladder.
that.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
even when you're
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at like the Temple of Solomon, and I can't look at the ancient depictions now when you're seeing like any artist representation, they show the two pillars in front. I'm like, I don't think those were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Solomon.
Everywhere. Yeah. Two
Yeah,
giant ones.
yeah, and
I
God's probably
noticed
looking
that
at it like,
on a game show they just had picture of King Charles and not King Charles, the son getting married, the grandson. And it was
mm.
like, where was this at? And it was the all tiled floor and the two pillars, and I was like, here we go.
Don't even need to
Dude, it's
watch
so
the
hard to
rest to know
ignore
why
it
this
once
is
you
gonna
know
be.
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
everywhere, especially with the elites.
Yeah, yeah, or even any politician.
And I
So
don't,
even influencers, dude.
right? That's where I was just getting ready to be at. I don't know if it's necessarily just elites or like popular people. It's more so like if it's going to be out there for the world to see, it's going to be this.
Hmm.
And that's kind of what it's like aimed towards. I feel like now it's like, nope, whoever's in charge is like, well, if you're going to put that out there like this, it's going to be Masonic.
Right,
You know, oh,
right.
okay.
And this is what I was trying to explain to somebody because she was asking me in essence, like, so is everybody in the Shriners Hospital familiar with the Masonic? And I said, no. It's just like a soldier. Do you really know about all the lobbying that your politician is doing to get you to go to certain countries to fight for the income that they're going to generate off of what you do for your services? No.
Yeah,
But this is the thing. A lot do you have to understand is that even with like Turning Point USA, does every pundit talking head know what's going on? No, you're just a cute chick. You buy the American patriotism thing. You spew a good rhetoric. We'll put you out there. We'll make you popular. Give you tons of followers. Just don't question the groups. Don't question this particular country. Okay? Okay.
absolutely.
I mean, would you say no to that deal? I don't really have to know anything higher up. It's just like, okay, I get to basically, coaster through life because, you guys are paying for my ride. It's like a sugar daddy.
It's
It's a honeypot
I'm
operation,
if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
pretty much.
Like my parents very, very, very were like, don't buy no, don't take candy from strangers.
Yeah, dude, it's the same thing. I'm like, dude, are you sure it's not a religion? Because when I tell you to watch something outside of Shapiro, if you could take a media fast from him for like a month, you can't do it, which tells me it's an addiction. And if it's an addiction, it's probably not healthy.
Yeah. Or Charlie Kirk, he's going back on tour. That's all I see now. I'm like, geez.
Dude, I'm telling you, I would love to have a debate with him or Shapiro. Just give me 1 hour, and I would have
Yeah.
them running off stage like scared little girls, like,
He literally, Charlie Kirk just posts short videos of him like picking on trans people. And it's like, okay, cool, but you're not picking on anybody intelligent here to get you
right.
anywhere.
That's what. Same thing with Shapiro. You only go after college girls, but whenever
Yep.
you're confronted in the state capitol or something like that, you run out of the room.
Yep.
They're wussies, dude. I had another guy. I just offered a debate with him, and he's like, "Oh, I need time to prep, and it probably wouldn't be fair. Besides, you're kind of mad at me at the moment." I said, "I'm not mad. I'm freaking ready to go. I ain't got time for somebody that's gonna say, oh, no, don't
Yeah.
challenge me if you're not willing to. Like, I can defend at a moment's notice. Let's go.
Yep.
You, in contrast, cynical. There's this wrong with that. This author supports this. Get out of here, you coward."
Yep. All right.
Anyways,
Sorry. I
enough
interjected
with
there and I
all
went way sideways. Yeah.
No, not at all. I've been wanting to get that off my chest.
There we go.
I'll probably do a
Good.
video on that soon.
Therapy.
Yeah. So, something else I found interesting. Everybody tells me that Masons and Jesuits do not go together. However, next article down, the influence of Catholic education, despite his family's Masonic connections, Huberton's Catholic educational experience played a significant role in shaping his thoughts and ideals. His classical education and knowledge of Greek and Roman history were influenced by his Catholic upbringing.
That's
Freemasonry
crazy.
and Olympianism. With Coubertin's direct involvement with Freemasonry is unclear, his Olympic ideals and symbolism show parallels with Freemasonic values, such as an emphasis on brotherly love, relief, and truth, commitment to charity and philanthropy, and a focus on personal development and self-improvement, use of symbolic language and imagery. I was over here like help books. Who needs a Bible? You
Catholicism,
got a help book.
his Catholic upbringing, it was influenced with Greek and Roman history. I get the Roman, but the Greek's a little crazy.
Well, a
But
lot
I
of
guess
it
they're the
is like,
same, right?
well, yeah, especially when you read the book The Rulers of Evil and the rotunda of all the paintings that we have up there. I'm gonna be doing like a final one debunking the Baphomet soon. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. When I was finishing up that book, I read some more stuff about the Mithra hats, red hats. I literally dropped my fork, going, "Oh my gosh, this is bad. This is very bad." Because it was like I already hinted, like what I speculated, and then I was reading it, going, "This is really
Just
bad."
solidified the truth.
Yeah, and the Smurf movies connect. Yeah, that
Oh,
made
it
me.
makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah, okay.
yeah. They literally said the word Smurf. I was like, "Ugh." Anyway. Coubertin. Oh, rap battles. That is Smurf versus a minion. Anyways, Coubertin's Catholic educational experience played blah 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 blah. Freemasonry and Olympianism. I think that I'd reboot. The similarities highlight the potential influence of Freemasonry and Coubertin's vision for the Olympic Games and his ideals of international unity and cooperation. So again, it's already been kind of outlined. We're trying to bring the world together, which is ultimately what the New World Order vision is, a
Yep.
one world government. So if we now, instead of just do it in a small little Greek area, let's bring all the world together, right? Whoever has all the rings of Saruman,
Yeah. There's only one though.
there's only one. It makes you go invisible when you wear it. So fallen angel propaganda. The elite use modern methods to honor their gods, aka Nephilim, the archons. I was doing a word etymology of archon and anarchy. Archons used to be in control of city states. I was like, well, that sounds like a mayor, a governor, right? Anarchy to be standing against worldly governors and things like that. I was making
Huh.
me go, because they were bullies, right? They had their own little districts.
That's
So it was making me think that doesn't make the whole, being possessed by internet demons at some point in the future would be the same goal, because that's ultimately what they get, right? They just run
if
through you. You're the electric current.
they hope
Me?
so.
Right, right. And I think they actually will get what they want for 3.5 years once Christians are ejected, because you didn't want the truth. So God's like, all right, I'm gonna let you want get what you
Yep.
want, and then I'll be back before you destroy all flesh.
Won't take
Um,
long.
Dude, no. And I truly think we're that close, because they keep showing us all this stuff every other day. I'm like, I just told the guy that, again, that refused the debate. I said, all right, when things hit the fan, remember me. I'll see you on the other side. It's literally coming to that point, dude. I really don't care. So today, ancient gods, fallen angels, and the demigods, the hybrids of the Nephilim, have been rebranded and still have a major effect. Our planets, days of the week, and months have been named after these fallen angels. Europe is named after the Greek god Europa, and the Atlantic Ocean is named after the the Atlas. Even NASA's famous Apollo missions were named after Apollo and or Apollyon, Nimrod's son Tammuz, who I highly suspect is that individual. Furthermore, the popular most watched Olympics is a tribute to the fallen. It was named after the Olympian gods who overthrew the Titans. This also includes various logos like the Versace and
Versace.
Starbucks. Versace, sorry. See, I don't get out much, so obviously that just shows.
It's snowy.
Vers- Versace features the Nephilim hybrid Medusa, while the Starbucks logo is a siren, half fish, half woman Nephilim. Additionally, Nike is a clear tribute to the god of victory, while Amazon is a tribute to the fierce Nephilim woman warriors. The fallen angels have also rebranded as Marvel and DC superheroes. Superman is Zeus, and Aquaman is Poseidon, and Thor is Thor. The list goes on.
I saw somebody wearing an Amazon like a famous person. I couldn't remember who it was, and I was like, "This isn't even their name or have nothing to do with them." But maybe, it's what you're saying, right? Amazon.
It's all off. Yeah, that's the thing, is when I was who was it? Drawn to him. If you want, I'm not sure if you follow him on Instagram or his Bible account. But I said if he could draw me a logo, and again, I was taking like you have to have wings on it, you have to have the all-seeing eye on it, and when you put it all together, I was like, hate to say it, that's like perfect for an New World Order badge to wear on your. I was like, it looks that good, dude. Not that I am endorsing, I am merely saying when you understand the symbolism, it was like, yeah, that if I was writing a dystopian novel, that's what I would have the cops or the 1984 police look like because
That's
you
awesome.
understand the symbolism. It's not the same, but when you understand equivalence, it all just merges together and melds beautifully.
That's
So,
cool. That is cool. I'm gonna have to check that person out.
yeah, dude, he really he really drew my attention. No, he's good. He's really good. So the ancient Greeks worshiped many gods. Americans still idolize many of these same gods as comic heroes. Now, granted, I think the biggest thing to take away, yeah, is the entertainment. Yeah, but what are they subtly implanting? Just like with a magician, who controls the outcome of the trick? Who are you looking to in awe and wonderment? Are you looking to your creator or looking at creation going, wow, this is beautiful, blah, 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 and you're giving acknowledgement to the creator? Whereas what is a magician doing? It's kind of doing the same thing. I have the element, and you've seen it, right? Because I have to show you what I'm playing with, or else the game is no fun, right? But it's the illusion, it's keeping you entertained, and it's putting your energy and investment and trying to understand how is it done, because I don't understand.
Yeah, it's the whole show of it, right?
Correct. Correct. And again, this is part of the reason why the lottery is so appealing. It's hopium on adrenaline. It's getting you going where you're over here saying there's a chance, as opposed to just saying I walk by faith. The other one is saying I'm investing in the unknown, and you're putting that into whatever. Again, I would say yeah. Who knows? They might do some ceremony where they're doing a thing before they send them out and say yeah, curse everybody who puts their money into this. Them silly fools, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you
It's
never
that.
know.
Yeah. So the 33rd Olympics, I'm not sure. Was this the outfit? Because I didn't watch. I only got the screenshot highlights. Was that Tom Cruise in that thing?
I have no idea who was in that thing, but if it was Tom Cruise,
They said they were bringing him down to do some kind of crazy acrobatic thing coming down from above. I don't know if that was specifically him, but we're going to have more on this. I was just going, okay, symbolism wise, didn't exactly resonate well with me. As well, we had the death on a pale horse, a white horse at the Olympics, and or silver, silverishly white. But when you tilted it at a certain angle, it was like, are you guys telling us something? And again, Revelation 6:8, and I looked and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was death, and hell followed him. And power was given to them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword and with hunger and with death and with the beasts of the earth. Now, generally, I would say, okay, just another cute occult symbolism thing that they're throwing at us. But on the 33rd Olympics, on the eve of Year of the Snake, and this past Christmas, they had the portal openings in the form of the sigil of Lucifer at
yeah.
the Vatican. And now the Pope is sick. Allegedly, he has said this that it's time for the world to worship Satan.
What? I did
Yeah,
see that he's sick. Like uh today's news actually I looked it up and it said his conditioning is getting worse than it was the previous day every day.
yeah. Well, again, and he's going right into March. During this whole week up ahead, now all the planets are going to be aligned. During the inauguration, all of them were aligned with the exception of Mercury. Mercury tracing to Hermes, aka the guy that Trump shares name etymology to. Now that it's
Yes.
going to be aligned all in March when they have their real inauguration go on, I would not be surprised, given the Economist magazine year ahead for 2025, they showed like the all-seeing eye, and it was aligned with Trump. Is it possible he might suffer a head wound and maybe Neuralink will come and save the day? Also, thus kind of fulfilling the top of the pyramid with the all-seeing eye. I don't know.
What if the Pope dies? What if the Pope dies on the planet alignment?
If the Again, I could easily see it because March is supposed to be Ares, the god of war. So maybe that is a little bit of a nod. And while we're over here floundering, trying to figure out who's going to be the next pope, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of drag it out for almost a year, right?
Yeah. Unless
Because why? Because
the Saint Malachi prophecy, of only 112 popes is true.
yeah, they're all saying he's going to be the last one. I think he was the first Jesuit pope, to be absolutely honest. Um, but then Trump's the exchequer of the Vatican World Bank. He's already said that we need to have like one world religion just to kind of bring peace around the world. He said peace and safety at his inauguration address. He did a post later on Truth Social with the same phrase. I was like, "Aye, guys,
The Vatican briefed him on the Pope behind closed doors. They
of his
brought Trump
status."
in. Yeah.
So
Why?
when do you want us to push us over the edge?
Yeah, right. They said, when do you want to take the next chair?
Yeah, it's like around 6 o'clock around this
Yeah, it
time.
works.
It's because dude, that's for me. Helios, East meets West. You're bringing the Protestants, right? And Steve Bannon just said this: traditional Catholics, dispensationalists, and MAGA will always have Israel's back. That was
Truth.
him. So I was going, wait, you just tell me that all three of those are tied together? And again, what does the Antichrist do? Helios, east to west. You bring the east to come back to the fold, the Catholic fold. This is what they're always doing, dude. This has always been the plan. But people don't seem to realize because they're all like, oh, it has to be the Vatican. I think Mystery Babylon the Great is us.
Yep.
Because again, the Vatican does not ship out all this wealth and whatnot.
Well,
Who has the all-seeing eye on their dollar bill? Is it the Vatican
if
or is it us?
if you
It's
put
us.
the Earth back when it first started and it was Pangea and all one chunk,
Right.
and then you look at like biblical geographic markings, it's like Southern America
Yes.
is where Israel and places like that would have been.
Well, I mean,
So
when you fold it, yeah.
when it's all
Um,
back to where it was, like, and if you think about the Bible, it's like, well, in the beginning, well, then maybe it was during Pangea time. Who
Possibly,
knows?
and or the Arctic, because that's where they have the four splits up there, and that's where the actual inspiration of the swastika came from, was the four rivers coming out from the maggot in the
What?
very center. If you're going by biblical cosmology, that's all I'm saying. It does
I
make me
like it.
scratch my head. Yeah, I'm just saying, because there's something there. And I think Avro Manhattan, he wrote a lot of books talking about the Catholics' influence in South America. So anytime I'm hearing like, oh, Russia's over here doing something in Venezuela or blah, 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 I'm over here like, when you understand who the three main organizations that control everything, I'm not really too freaked out about looking at look at China, look at Russia. I'm over here going, what's the church doing these days?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are they
Truth.
dance? Were they dancing today? Are they not dancing today? I really want to know. What are they up to today? Like the whole thing with the Epstein thing. You know what they just released? They didn't even release the Epstein list. They literally released the phone number list of Epstein's contacts, which is already accessible on the main internet.
Yeah,
They literally
of course they
released
did.
Jack.
They're not going to ever give us anything.
If
They
they
can't.
do, they're going to switch it and be like, "Oh, you support Epstein." Like I did the Q-Stein files. Actually, I might run that with you guys because everybody
What's
else I've run that to,
stopping it?
nobody
Why don't
sent
we
me a
know what's
copy.
stopping it? Like,
Yeah,
what?
what is stopping the Epstein files coming out?
I
And
mean,
yes, we'll
literally,
run the Q-Stein files.
like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's got to show somewhere, like, hey, we're okay, like, doing this, cool. And then
yeah.
somebody along the line says no,
Yeah,
and that's
who's
bigger than
saying no?
any, like, the
You want to know
like,
who controlled Epstein? It was Mossad.
Yes.
So here's the thing: if you let that out, that's going to destroy the whole Trump Gaza. As you saw that video go around the other day, and
yeah.
dude, I'm actually kind of hopeful because there's more than a few people that are going, "This is blasphemous.
Oh
This
yeah.
is sick." Blah blah blah. I was like, maybe we're gonna get a few more.
I
Maybe.
I told Matt, I said if this isn't the new national anthem for over in Trump Gaza, if it really becomes, they better play this song in like every supermarket and in the airport when you land.
Dude, like for me, everybody's expecting the Antichrist to make a nice little cordial speech behind the podium, and everybody just be like, "All right, God, I got my suitcase ready for heaven now. Any minute now,
Yeah.
any
Nope.
minute." But that's the thing, dude, is people aren't ready to go at a moment's notice because they're literally saying, "I'm going to make a lot of money, and then I'm going to get raptured out, and then his chosen people are going to get slapped around like a housewife that's not been submitting to her husband for the last couple of years." That's literally what I'm hearing. And when I told my mentor, he was always like, so if we're God's chosen people, you mean we're in the last days, that means we're going to get beat up. I'm like, this is a problem for you?
Yeah.
That's a good thing,
If that is the
right?
case, are you okay to suffer for him as our brothers and sisters in Korea and in China and all these other places have suffered and endured? You're not willing to do that in a, oh, great, USA. No?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I mean, think
Yep.
about your own freedom. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'd be the slave that runs, right? I mean, I'd
Yeah.
be a bad slave, right? I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
I'd be a terror.
a very
I'd be
good
Kunta
slave. I go
Kinte.
to work every day, so I mean,
They cut your foot off.
but yeah.
Or they run over you with a bulldozer as one of my
But you got to take your chances, right? I mean, and it
Yeah.
becomes that.
It's like, are you willing to do it? Me, I'm over here like, yeah, I'll volunteer first for the Noah Hyde loss at
Like,
this
but
point
it
because I'm
sucks
over
they
here
can
like,
catch one person, right? But like
yeah,
when it comes to like we all run, good luck. You might
yeah,
catch some, you know?
they can't put all of us in jail.
Like if we all quit paying taxes tomorrow,
Well,
Dude,
they're all
and we
just going to
left
go
do
to,
we all
overnight.
just go to debtor's prison? Like,
they're
okay,
all going to go to
cool. Like,
Trump
where's your
Gaza.
money come?
Or
They're,
Greenland.
they're all going to go to Greenland and Trump Gaza, Trump Greenland and Trump Gaza, and then
I'm
they're just going to
destroying the
bomb the
NASA.
rest of us.
I'm gonna find the NASA base up there and destroy it.
Yeah, yeah. Elon's going to be
Don't
like,
sell
no.
me. Anyways, World Economic Forum. This is their logo for Agenda 2030. Ironically enough, when they were starting the opening ceremonies at the Olympics, they were doing the same colors as.
What?
They don't connect?
Yep.
You sure?
That's crazy.
Worlds, you know. So again, the 17 goals of the United Nations to enslave humanity under the authority of the Antichrist. The United Nations Agenda for 2030 for a New World Order. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals that make up Agenda 2030 essentially serves as the recipe for the coming technocratic New World Order. The UN plans to have nations to continue to impose new laws and initiatives upon their citizens in an effort to achieve these goals, which they lump under sustainability. The Agenda 2030 is a ramp up from its predecessor, Agenda 21, as it
So,
aims to control everything, control all lands, water, energy, technology, production, information, animals, and all humans through AI, 6G, blockchain, and RFID. Thus, the elite are setting the stage to enslavement of humanity under the rule of the Antichrist. And who were all standing behind Trump during his inauguration?
All the tech giants.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And you look up Elon's grandfather, Joseph Haldeman, Haldeman, and he had dreams back in the 1940s for government efficiency. And that government efficiency was a technocratic vision for the North American blockchain,
how
which
far
included
off,
Greenland.
like, I mean, if we're playing bingo here, I mean,
Yeah,
how far off are we on these things, right? Like, I mean, welfare dependence,
I feel like we're
GMOs,
already at number
right?
9.
Like forced
mm-hmm.
vaccinations, mass indoctrinations,
Destroy
destroying
families,
families. Yep.
no
I can't really
property
see that.
rights. You know, they're
What's the water one? Water rationing, which I
Mm-hmm.
mean, when the government can say how much water I can put, like, save, right? I mean,
mm-hmm.
um, let's see here. Property. Oh yeah, yeah. Slave labor, which is it is
That's
kind of.
all they build anymore is low income
Perpetual
housing where
war.
we live.
Well, like we're
Just
lacking like a one currency so far.
yes.
We're close because he's already talking about with the Bitcoin thing. He
Right,
wants to
right.
solve the
Which I
national
think is
debt.
also pretty close. Just like if we all went to that, like if the dollar collapsed tomorrow, I think that's
Yeah,
where
that's
a lot of people would
blockchain, right?
automatically go,
Yeah.
right, to cash out to the next highest value. But
And that's what everybody's is being groomed and gravitated towards. So it's like, oh yeah, here's your
yeah.
$5,000, and then we're gonna solve the national debt. And again, it looks great. It's wow, sounds amazing. Did you see the bottom right hand corner of your Bitcoin? No, what? 666. It's an
Right.
It's 999. You have it wrong. It's the occult.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Why would you pick that number, right? Why would you pick
Well,
a 9
again,
or a
when I
6?
did my
Yeah.
PayPal setup, everybody's getting freaked out. I'm like, no, but that was like 5, 6 years before when I created the account before blah, blah, blah. And now I don't know how to freaking fix it. But that was not the intent of when I did it, and I always admit that to everybody. But
Yep.
when we're talking about occult, Come on, come on.
Yeah.
So we're pretty close, and people just aren't looking because they don't want to see it. So the
Yep.
interesting thing that a lot of people were bringing out is the world map where the light seems to coverage over where? Israel. This was during
Right.
the Olympics. And why is it highlighted over Israel? Why does it have a spear going right through it? Through Africa specifically, but it's going right through the nations. I have questions because, Star Rem fan, they want a new world order. And I hate to say it, if that's the center of the world and it's the star of light, right? And I think it was Rick Wiles. Again, I take everybody with a grain of salt. I don't follow everybody die hard with 100%. That's the problem with people, is you can't listen to somebody with about 85%. Once in a while, you're right. Most of the time, I think you might be wrong. But he said that Israel's pitching the idea of becoming a digital citizen, where you don't necessarily have to live
It's a weird
in
thing we
Israel. You
do.
can
Like,
live
if you
anywhere you
agree
want in
with
the
that,
world. Hmm?
like, that's a weird thing we do too. Sorry, off topic, but like, why, if you agree with one thing, do you have to agree with all of it?
Right.
Like, it's weird.
Well,
Like,
that's part of the thing is what they're doing is when some of these people like Eric Trump is posting the thing is that we're doing tariffs now, but we will do so much worse. And if you don't submit, we're going to come and round you up. Kid you not, that's paraphrasing exactly what he said.
Yep.
And I'm over here going, so then he deletes it. What does this do? He never said that. Are you
Yeah.
sure? How do you know that wasn't AI? And what is this doing? It's getting Republicans advocating for online censorship because the Mandela effect and cognitive dissonance is promoting the idea that it's fake news, right? They've been establishing that for the last couple years. So if it's only the news I want to hear, then we're soothing your propaganda, Binky. And that's what you're only going to accept is, oh yeah, that's the news that I agree with. It's got to be good, right? So you're creating even more and more Stockholm syndrome in the aspect of what I believe is true. And because their thing is against the Bible, right? Trump signed a thing that's now getting rid of trans. Yeah, because man and woman was defined by God, not Trump, but you're going to take Trump's legislation over God's law, that's standard. You follow what I'm saying? You're putting one up. You're
Yep.
replacing. You're putting an antichrist. That's like common sense knowledge, especially if you acknowledge God. But in
Hmm.
antichrist form, it's just like, no, that's just normal, and I'm gonna make it normal.
Yeah, he
You're
said it,
making it normal.
right? That's how it is. Well, we heard it from him, so
Right.
oh, it's
Right.
true.
So if it's again, that's what propaganda is only accepting the world interpretation and perspective that you as you see it. That's what modern news stations have become, or modern soothsayers.
Like modern
Tell me what I want to
religion,
hear.
even
Tell me what I want to hear.
when
Well,
your
again, like Brand.
president can dictate what your beliefs are.
Mhm.
Like what the I mean, that's how you get Germany's and stuff,
That's
That's
fascism.
really
That's technocracy. That's guys
crazy.
like this is why I keep telling people you really got to be careful what you wish for, because Revelation 18:23, the nations were deceived by their pharmakia, but also the voice of the groom and bridesmaids was heard no longer in thee. What is that telling me? You didn't want the word of God, and you didn't want people who were advocating the true interpretation of the word of God. So what'd you do? You're the dictator. Get them out of here.
yep.
Executed them. And now what are you going to get? Exactly what you wanted. And even though those who were warning you and telling you the truth, like in Noah's day, now you're going to get the fire. So, a digital citizen, that's kind of what I was seeing. And who's the ones orchestrating it? I don't know, but there was a guy telling us, who gave you the internet? Who gave you this? You should be bowing to us. You should be kissing our feet.
Yeah.
Okay. You seem nice. But as this individual was coming down from the skies, he was having, horns on his head. Apparently, he was supposed to be representing Apollyon, right? And he's doing the as above, so below pose, right? And again, what is as above, so below? It is Kabbalah, it is the traditions of men. We bring God and we interpret him in our interpretation of him, our perception of him. We take his word and we create it in our interpretation thereof. We don't get rid of God. We mix his words, we redefine it. This is what Satan has done in the Garden of Eden. Did he really say that? I could take you backstage and show you how everything's really going on if you want to come back. Right? That's what he's telling them. That's the
Yep.
same lie. And still today, or even with Christ, he's tempting him in the wilderness. Yes, and there's a verse that counteracts the way you're trying to interpret that verse that cancels that out, right? Now go away from me. So now what are they trying to do? Well, they want to merge this idea of the 666. That is the symbolism of the mark of the beast. 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 6 protons. That is the creation of man. That is the basic elements of what man is. Followers of the beast is 616. That's just from the Greek that we have here. Interestingly enough, I think Trump posted that photo. Was it you that shared that with me, Fafo? Or if
Mm, I don't think
he
so.
he posted like it was F1 FO or something like that. It looked like AI generated. And he was
No, it
wearing
wasn't
like a
me.
1930s, 40s little cap on his head. But when you broke down F1 whatever FAFO, it added up to 616. And the zero, of course, is not added. I was like, 616. Okay, again. Then he printed the $1,000 bill. And the bottom right hand corner on the reverse side was 666. Again. So, again, this is the things where I'm going, grain of salt, whatever. Dang it, you just proved me right. Again, not that I want to be, but what is 33? Well, when we multiply it by 2, we get 66, right? MAGA means magician, right? So let's go to the MAGA tarot card. And what are we missing here? When you have this Ouroboros, I just was reading on another, a New Age, whatever page. And when you have the Ouroboros, that could also be the equivalent of 33 mirroring itself, or the
Huh.
number 8. And that's 33. So the 3 things for men and the 3 things for women merged together, we get the perfect man, right? So the I, the one. And the I represents the God particle, the God potential, the pineal gland, how to ascend to become your own God, right? So 33 times 2, we get 66. We bring the A or I, bring that down. That's the God particle, 616. And if you want to do, what was it? Skull and Bones? What was their foundation of their date? It was March
Yeah,
3,
312,
22. 3 times
322. There you
22, 66. What's missing? I1 God particle. Same thing with 911. 9 times 11, 99. Invert it, 66. What's missing? I1 God particle. So again, I could be wrong, but as I stated before, white tunic, red sash, just like the Christ they pick for us. They're grooming us. They're taking his legacy with the doppelgangers and already inverting it for what? Inner enlightenment. And I was just
Dude was
noticing
from the
this.
Middle East and he is so light.
Yeah, right. I was noticing when you put the Virgin Mary with Christ pagan doppelganger Tammuz sucking at the teat, he's sucking on enlightenment of the breast, where if you put that over the Hermetic Kabbalah tree of life, that's what he's sucking on. Inner light, enlightenment. No wonder the Catholic Church is doing that. And Catholic means universal church.
go.
Universal? Well,
That's
right?
crazy.
What does Christ say? My kingdom's not of this world.
Not of this
So this
world.
whole aspect of putting uni over this, it's like, no, we're not united. We are divided. Saint means set apart. So being part of something of this world, might want to. So and then lastly, I noticed this gold aspect that's in the Vatican. This is part area where he does his speeches or whatever. It is the head of a goat, but it looked very similar to what we have here at the Olympic
Oh
guy.
wow, yeah.
Yeah, bafflement. So could be wrong, could be right. Just be wary because they put it in plain sight. Oh
I mean,
wow!
yeah, why
Oh, so those
there
aren't
that was a
just
rhyme.
I didn't even.
sparkly.
I know as I was finishing, I was
Oh,
like, wow! I just.
That you're the Vatican too. Why are you even like somewhat picking art that might be the Baphomet?
Well,
You know,
because
do you have the
Baphomet
guy
is.
come in and go, yeah, make it more Baphomet for me? Just
We Christianized
yeah.
it, which again, allegedly
just
the Knights Templar
bedazzle
were.
it? Like, was that the thing?
It needs more jewels. But that's even the thing is a lot of people don't know who Mithra is, and Mithra, when they were doing like a swear-in ceremony, going into these Mithraic caves, they would go down into these caves, and sometimes they would chisel holes into it so they could see the stars, because ancient Iranians would believe that the sky was made of stone. And they wanted to look up at the constellations. But one of their initiation phrases was ended with Salve Coagula. Coincidentally enough, Baphomet's arm tattoos is Salve Coagula. Salve, to bring
Right.
something from one realm into this realm, which is 9/11, Antichrist. And Coagula means blood clot. A pentagram, 5G, penta means 5G, God, goat ram. I don't know. But when you invert the sigil of Lucifer, it's the same as the 5G tower. So maybe there's a little something there. But the Vatican, and as I was saying with Mithra, this is why I'm bringing it in, because a lot of people are seeing stuff, and I'm like, you have to understand the doppelganger. Okay, I'm going to touch on the Last Supper thing that we were seeing. The new life on Earth is growing very slowly due to drought. Mithras, the mediator between heaven and earth, as above so below, aka Tammuz, Nimrod's son, is asked to solve this problem. However, this means a conflict with the Son, Son of God, Sun God worship, Sunday worship. They're trying to already invert who Christ was. Christ was the Word of God made flesh, right? Whereas the other one is still worshiping Nimrod, who is the foundation of sun god worship, reborn into his son Tammuz. And wow, your chair kind of looks like a Deadpool, like a cheap Etsy Deadpool mask. When for a split second, sorry.
It is. I think it's cool too. I'm like, nice.
Nice. This means a conflict with the sun, who has been burning the land. The battle between Sol, the sun, and Mithras reflects Mithras overcoming the planetary sun and becoming the invincible sun. Sol kneels in front of Sol Invictus, and while Mithras holds the constellation of the Bear, Ursa Minor, in one hand. This emphasizes his power as the stellar god, one who moves the cosmic pole, as well as causing a procession of equinoxes. Again, equinox is what was going on in the fall or winter of 2024, with the sigil of Lucifer opening up. And he, in the Catholic Church, I can't remember what's the name of the website, but they have a whole thing that, yes, Christmas is based on Sol Invictus. This is them, not me. Mithras and Sol then became friends, and they shake hands. Mithras is described as the Lord of wide pastures, the Lord of truth and contracts. So every time you sign an oath or you pledge allegiance to something, that goes back to Mithraism. The custom of shaking hands when greeting
We
a
lost your
friend.
sound.
Huh?
No, I still got him.
He'll
You want
find
me
it.
to repeat
He'll
myself?
find it here.
I can still hear Brandon. Can you hear me?
I can
It's
hear
what
you,
they do when
Matthew.
Brandon tries to speak out the truth.
Dude,
Yeah,
the last
Michael
time
mutes
Now
it
they
himself.
have
glitched
to,
every 30 seconds for the girl, and she had
They
to
have to
edit it.
come to
Like,
YouTube now because nobody can hear him.
you can't hear me? Still?
No, he can't hear us. Okay, Michael. You can't hear Brandon, and Brandon, you can't hear Michael.
I can't hear Matt either.
You can't hear Matt either. Okay,
Maybe you
cool.
should log
So
in,
then,
log out.
Michael, you're the issue.
Is it me?
Yeah. Me and Brandon can hear each other.
We're good.
Yeah, y'all
You're
keep
good.
going.
Okay. Where were we? Mithras is described as the Lord of wide pastures. Oh yeah, shaking the custom of shaking hands. I was thinking like Masons, when greeting a friend or after a business deal, is said to have originated from the Mithraic mysteries as a sign of not carrying a weapon and of trust. And the earliest depiction of the act of handshaking was found in the iconography of Mithras and Sol. Isn't that interesting? So even when we shake hands with somebody, that's being established.
Interesting. Like, and like that's like one of the first things you learn to like do to greet somebody too, right? And it's ingrained into us that far. It's beyond
Was
our
like, should we go back to the
knowledge.
Middle Eastern way where we were kissing cheeks?
Yeah, that's a little more awkward. I think we at least at least did the more sanitary option, right? Don't gotta
Right.
get all close.
Depends who.
Oh, you can hear us now?
Yes. I
Okay.
caught you back.
Welcome back.
It was me. It was me.
You're the
Yeah, we
problem.
knew.
It's you.
We figured it out.
It's always me.
I
Yeah.
thought you could hear both of us because you were like kind of replying. It
Yeah,
was
it was
weird.
really weird, dude.
No, no.
Um,
Just
but
reading
again,
lips.
Constantine worships Sol Invictus, and again, Sol Invictus, Helios, Cybele, Attis, all spiked crowns, just like the Statue of Liberty. And again, the shaking of the hand. What does this mean when you're shaking hands? For me, I find that as above, so below, conjoined as the universe, soul is soul. When you hold your hands together, you're in essence saying you're in alignment, right? You're bringing all those things together. You get the Star of Remphan. Doesn't mean it's always evil, evil, evil. No, like you have to be wary where some of this stuff comes from because when you've like I've heard other people tell me that there was like a pastor or something like that, and he was shaking their hand and it felt kind of weird. It's like, yeah, they're doing a test because if you understand what a handshake means, like it's an upgrade of the basic, right? This is
Hmm.
what the plebes know. But if you actually do a little, oh, okay, you're part of this degree, yeah, okay. When you gonna let's talk later, okay.
Yes.
I prefer the fist bump. Like, how have we just not gone more towards the fist bump? It's so much simpler, more sanitary.
Who was that? Deal or No Deal, right? That's all he did. Howie
Yeah,
Mandel. There we go.
yeah.
Howie Mandel, yeah, 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 yeah.
It always makes it awkward when one person goes for the opposite, though. You know, you just like put your hand in the
It's totally what it is. You do. You grab their fist every time. You're like, all right.
just shake it.
Nice to meet you, human. Um, this is from Facebook's Truth Behind It. I'm not sure if they're still going. I was following them, and I haven't seen them in a while. Can you not hear us again, Michael? You're giving a face.
Oh no, I can definitely hear. I was just
He's
Sorry,
looking
just
you're
at
either
all
intrigued.
the,
constipated
That's
or
his
lost. I
intrigued
wasn't sure.
face.
that's my intrigued face looking at all these Olympians covering their eyes.
Yeah, and it does make you wonder because it's like, okay, you're pulling at strings, right? But then you have some of the other ones that are from what country? The usual suspects, as per usual. With what? The all-seeing eye.
That's crazy.
Over what? Their left breast, just like when Tammuz is sucking over the teat of the Virgin Mary, the Enlightenment. It's not just. And what does it mean when they're covering one particular eye? If they're covering up one, if it's the let's see if I got this right. Go around. We have Ra, Re. This is Nimrod's eye, left side, and this is Tammuz's eye on the right, bearing on which one they're covering. So when we're seeing the black and white of the floor when they're walking on that, the right eye, sun related, masculine yang energy, explores reason, mathematics, logic, science, and language, a symbol of good luck and creative action. And the left eye, Thoth, Hermes, Tammuz, his son, represents moon related. What did I just say about the church? Universal church, cathode, cathedral. Yeah, that's what cathode means ultimately. Um, Feminine yin energy explores human nature, emotions, sexual energy, intuition, and magic. A symbol of healing powers and protection. Now, what is this ultimately called? Well, one of the variations, like the show Lucifer, is depicting the lady's eye being covered. It's not me. That's Netflix. We all know how they're kind of sketchy with most of their stuff. I would say 90+%.
Yeah.
And we have Faust from 1994, where the inscription reads, "A deal with the devil turns a man into a marionette in a live action animated version of this classic tale. A man who sells his soul to get in alignment in a contract with the devil." Not
Turns him
me.
into a marionette.
Yes.
Just playing him.
And man, um, yes, exactly. And so I call it like the Faustian bargain eye. And fun trivia fact, that was Karl Marx's favorite play. Faust.
Makes sense.
Faust.
Yeah.
Do you think it has to do with like when they have their black eyes too? It's only one eye, do you think they're choosing the left or the right for this?
I personally do. Again, I'm not in it, but it's speculation going from what do we see with Baal worship, because this was the thing in Christianity. Oh, what's Baal worship? It's sacrificing their kids, stupid Israelites, when they were doing that.
Which eye
Okay.
did you blacken, Michael?
Wait, what? Should I cancel this show now? You controlled opposition.
No, it was the The courts claim the left side. I think I could talk about it now. It's solved.
Oh,
Anyway,
you had
back on
did somebody
topic.
punch you? All right. Anyway, yeah, we'll go on. Talk to me after the show. I'm just messing around, folks. We're just joking. Have to have a little levity with dark topics like this. Again, could be wrong, but even like the Olympics, you had what's his face, Samuel L. Jackson doing the 666 hand pose. Well, it just means okay. Well, it also means 666, occultically wise. You wouldn't notice it unless you know what to look for, but could be wrong. But Elon Musk reveals the first patient ever to receive a brain implant from his startup Neuralink, and the operation took place for 4 days. And look how they're holding it.
Yep.
And you notice the logo on there?
Is that an? Oh, it's an infinity. What did you call it, Tom?
Ouroboros
There you go.
Infinity
The real
logo.
word for it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Ouroboros.
So is that I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying it's looking kind of like it.
There's like Catholic members in Argentina too, like that sit in like cardinals and whatnot. You know, they're part of the papacy or whatever. That you can look up pictures of them doing this as
Mm-hmm.
well over their eyes.
And again,
Yeah.
over the eyes, like again, they're like, oh look, it's cute, it's a kid thing, or the
Yeah.
And
monkeys
if you're
do it, and
gonna
you're just
do
like,
that, everybody knows you do it below the waist and at your
Yeah.
friends so that you can punch up.
Not here.
everybody knows you do it there.
This is a cult. This is
Yeah.
game show.
And again, I could be wrong, but another article was telling me the eye is the symbol of Tammuz. Tammuz is another one of those months with no holidays, which would be, if we're going by zodiac, be May 20 something to June 20 something. Interestingly enough, as I will be covering in another slide, so I'll probably skimp over that. But Hermes was alleged to be the god of coinage. Hermes is the Greek equivalent of Tammuz. Very simple. Thoth is the Egyptian equivalent. So if you're basically going up the coast, I'm just explaining it's like the deity telephone as it was traveling, migrating. This is how this guy was known. And okay, so let's say Hermes was the god of trade. What fell on 9/11? The World
Trade Center.
Trade Centers. Who's doing a tariff trade war right now? He also has name etymology to this guy. So again,
Yep.
just
Yep.
for me going, okay, be it whatever. Tammuz is another one of those months with no holiday. At least not any that I've found. This makes a lot of sense when you consider the Jewish, and again, religion, not ethnicity, wheel of the year in relation to the Gregorian cycles. The summer months are when there is too much work to be done and the field sowing, tilling, planting, and harvesting. Even though there isn't a specific practice we can associate with Tammuz, there is a theme. It's vision and eyesight. Tammuz is a month of challenges us to really see what's in front of us and to focus. If vision is the theme, then eyes are the symbol. The practice for Tammuz then is to see, open up your eyes. Mm-hmm. And ironically enough, Pfizer, I'm not sure if I'm going to get censored on YouTube for that one, but their logo is an all-seeing eye. When you go into the main ground floor, yeah, and they have 33 floors.
Of course they
Be
do.
that as it may. So again, also May, June, we have Pride Month. Satan is the father of pride, right? And as we've talked before, the chakra, when you invert it, it's inverted chakras for the pride flag. Could be wrong, just looking and going, that doesn't look right, though. That doesn't look right. As well, Junetto Monerete is when you're talking about in Rome, that was where they minted coinage on Palatine Hill. So just everybody's telling me this girl's a Christian, and yet she's got a lot of goat symbolism around her. Simone
With the
Biles Boyles.
Masonic thing? Really?
Yep.
Wow.
She's got the goat pillow. She's got a goat, like, I don't know, is that supposed to be a ring? Then she's hanging around with a goat during a photo shoot. She's wearing a goat necklace. Then she poses with the goat hat.
Both of them, even the Goat Rider Club right there, is standing on a pyramid, a Masonic pyramid.
Yep. And then she's got a goat on her upper whatever outfit she's wearing, her jumper outfit. And then she's got a goat again around the waist area. Not a Christian. Sorry, folks. Not a Christian. You will know them by their signs. I had some lady, I was doing it for, like, even now, I was doing it for demonstrational purposes, but she's like, oh, this guy's a Mason. He's showing all the signs. Their signs will expose them. I'm like, shut up, lady. You don't even know what 666 actually means. That's what I love, dude. In this community, we have all these Karens and whatnot, people shooting from the hip. You don't really know. You're just like, creepy gesture, creepy number. Do you actually know what it means?
Yep.
No, then shut up, because you're shooting from the hip and you really don't know what the spiritual warfare is. I'm trying to explain it to you. As I said before, the spear goes right through. Ironically enough, they make Australia the tip. And as I talk with Drew Misson, shout out to Drew, he's saying that they have a lot of the censorship, especially starting up in his country. Maybe this is a sign of things to come. Even when we had the pandemic stuff going on, they were the first to build camps to keep people separate from the population.
Yeah, I have some family that lives over there in that part of the world, and it's super, super like communist almost.
Definitely, dude. They're definitely so communist.
My father lives in Panama. Side topic here, real quick. And when all that stuff went down in 2019 and whatnot, they didn't even let men and women out together. That's what they thought they needed to do, like separate sexes. Men could be out Monday, women Tuesday. Men Wednesday.
No.
Yeah,
Play it
yeah,
whichever way you want.
yeah.
Dang.
Bro, I would not be able to do that. Sorry.
Not happening. But
I like mingling.
yes, right.
Just
Um,
if you tell me I can't, now I'm going to.
right.
No, just
I just wouldn't fit in down here. But you also notice a little bit that it kind of looks like a horse. Leg,
Absolutely looks like a
leg,
horse, like the
Yeah.
ears in the upper
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. And it's
The
holding a
nose.
spear. I'm not sure if I have it, but it was showing a knight depicting I can't remember who it was. It was some knight that's depicting he's spearing the dragon from his horse. And again, it's pointing at
yeah.
Australia.
I
But
see
it
like
looks
a,
like
a
yes.
like a guy riding it with a spear or something,
Yes, like a
It
knight,
really
a
does.
medieval knight.
Yeah.
Whether or not, I don't know, but this is what it looks like before, kind of when they're setting it up. And then afterward, the world goes into darkness and the bright light appears. And where is it appearing?
Israel.
Rimfan territory.
It kind of looks like Ra, also like Egyptian. If you remove the horse nose and make that like the just a spear, then it looks like what is it, like a beast human
Yes.
head,
Yeah.
like the mask. Yeah. Huh.
Just
Ra,
saying. And
imagine
we have
that.
what did he just post? Trump guys up, 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 up. Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
With
oh, here it is.
bearded ladies in Trump Gaza.
Yeah, for real. Just oh yeah, I cancel transgenderism. Yeah, sure. But yeah, this is kind of what they're depicting. I don't know. Oh, St. George slaying the dragon. Lip-de-doo.
That's not who does that.
Oh,
Saint.
yes. So, something is interesting. Once this individual comes descending down, the headless angel that it walks up to, which might represent the coming persecution of Christians during the final tribulation period, and Noahide laws being that Trump just had a letter from the Sanhedrin something. Everybody's tagging me on. I'm like, I know, I'm saving it. I'm going to be posting it. Be patient. There's so much going on. I literally can't keep up with it. Plus prep for presentations and do what I have to deal with the landlord. Uh, but Apocalypse 24, aka Apocalypse is the Greek meaning of revelation, the lifting of the veil. And I saw the thrones and they that sat upon them. The judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them who were beheaded for the witness of Christ or Jesus. Now, as I've said before, for going by Nephilim standards in Genesis 6:4, the sons of God came down, had affairs with the daughters of men. 1 John chapter 3, verse 1, behold what manner the love of the Father that we, Christians, should be called the sons of God. Is this kind of a mockery? Is, yeah, you'll get to heaven and you'll become part of the new celestial council as we once were, but you'll be headless. Now, granted, do we have to fear that? No, don't fear about those who can kill the body because your soul is secured. But is this a little bit of a nod of mockery that this is how you're going to be sent there?
Right. And where's all the light going?
Right, right.
Hmm.
Makes you wonder. I don't
Well,
know,
there,
but
like, I mean, a picture speaks 1,000 words, but
yes.
yeah, fair
And
enough.
again, if you understand it, you're over here going, hmm. Because here's the thing, you have a small remnant of Christians who are on one side going, wow, it is that obvious. And then you have on the other side where they're over here going, you see what we just did? You saw what yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then you have the people in the middle just going around like the Matrix, just like,
It's
they
just
don't understand
art.
anything. They just want to keep having their steak
Yeah.
and enjoying what they have.
And they're like, oh, it's just a headless angel. And it's like religion shouldn't be that important to you.
Right.
And like that's their defense for it, right? Oh, it's just
That's
a
what you
statue.
got out of that.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's what people get out of that.
It's like they're, oh, I'll have Trump tell us, but he's told us that he's pro this whole execution thing. I think I might have played this before, but in context of just saying yes, he has said it. This is on C-SPAN, and you can find this clip, Murfreesboro, Illinois, or you can find it on Right Side News. But he has talked about executing and cutting off the heads of Christians. I'll turn it up a little bit just to make sure the audience can hear what he says.
The horrible shooting that took place earlier today. The hearts of all Americans are filled with grief following the monstrous killing of Jewish Americans at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You've all seen it, been watching it. It's horrible. The suspect is in custody. The federal authorities are on the scene and leading an aggressive federal investigation. State and local law enforcement has been incredible. This evil anti-Semitic attack is an assault on all of us. It's an assault on humanity. It will require all of us working together to extract the hateful poison of anti-Semitism from our world. This was an anti-Semitic attack at its worst. The scourge of anti-Semitism cannot be ignored, cannot be tolerated, and it cannot be allowed to continue. We can't allow it to continue. It must be confronted and condemned everywhere it rears its very ugly head. We must stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters to defeat anti-Semitism and vanquish the forces of hate. That's what it is. Through the centuries, the Jews have endured terrible persecution, and you know that. We've all read it, we've studied it, they've gone through a lot. And those seeking their destruction, we will seek their destruction. When you have crimes like this, whether it's this one or another one or another group, we have to bring back the death penalty. They have to pay the ultimate price. They have to pay the ultimate price. They can't do this. They can't do this to our country. We must draw a line in the sand and say very strongly, never again.
So, he sounds like he's all for that. And in Israeli National News 2020, he is the champion of Noahide laws. Now that he just did this whole thing with the Sanhedrin getting a letter, I think we're pretty dang close for guillotine time from Chanel, who's been making guillotines, which I thought they were a makeup country, so why are you making guillotines is beyond my comprehension.
What? They made a guillotine?
Oh yeah, you could look this up right now in images for Chanel, Chantel, whatever the freaking thing is.
You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it right over here.
one of those French things that they
We'll
don't
see.
pronounce right.
Yeah, it's channel.
It's guillotine.
It's channel, and I'm turning it.
It's Chanel? I don't even know, dude. But I was chuckling because while everybody was saying, "Oh, they're mocking the Last Supper," I was going, "Not quite, not quite. Somewhat yes, somewhat no." But they were telling me that the individual
We
was
didn't even
supposed.
talk about that whole Trump thing. We kind of skimmed right over what he said there.
Oh, you want to
Like,
talk a little bit more about it?
yes, like
Okay.
really, why is our country like a synagogue our nation all of a sudden?
Hmm. Why are we only picking to
That one
defend
country.
Like
anti-Semitism? Yeah.
versus a church versus a mosque versus a temple, whatever.
Yeah, what did he
That's the
say? Did he
attack
say
on
anything on the
America.
Richmond shooting where that kid or Charleston, right? Where the kid opened up in the mosque, the black
Yeah.
church,
Yep.
right? Didn't say anything about that.
That was an attack against America as a whole. Like
Hmm.
that's just kind of very telling of you're not even talking about just a synagogue. You're basically talking about Israel as a
Yeah.
whole.
Hmm. Well, I mean, that's why you see what, Israel just did to Gaza because of, the way Trump spoke like that, right? One guy shoots up a synagogue, right? And he's like, we will take these entire groups out. And it's like, whoa, it might have just been one kid with a mental health issue.
Right. Right. And this is the thing is where you're emphasizing again, you have to know this is controlled psyop and Tree of Life. What is their Tree of Life? The Hermetic Kabbalah Tree of Life. At the very top is Kether, otherwise known as Corona. For translating into Masonic Latin, Trump got a plaque award from them. So I'm just saying, out of all the places in all the world and all the things to say, kind of really weird that all those things tie together. And as well, you are the biggest donor receiver from APAC ever with $230,431,000 plus of APAC money. Now, Joe
Holy
Biden, I
cow.
think he got like 8. I think Kamala got like 11 million. For me, it's like, okay, if they're a political prostitute, I don't really buy any of the stuff that they tell me on TV. And here's the thing, most people do not talk about people being lobbied.
Yep.
I don't care if you're left or right. If you were China, I don't care if it was like CPAC. Sorry, no, that's another one, but the same thing, no difference. But it was like whatever, APAC, IPAC, whatever, what China Pack, Chai Pack, whatever you want to call it. If it was China, if it was Russia in my government, and I'm over here just going, yeah, that's totally fine. No, but what country does like? I kind of want to do a T-shirt. APAC is not supported by Iran or whatever. It's not funded by Iran. Just kind of to like, guys.
Got
So if
people.
this, yeah, if any politician receives money from somebody else, you ultimately become a political prostitute, and therefore you're going to always favor your corporations over your constituents.
And when they're
That's to me
coming
the main
from
problem here.
Israel, that's not American anymore.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. And if that means you're going to have bias legislation slash decapitation because you disagree with this, it should be, like that's what I just said. Those other two, oh, the big commie countries, the big commie countries. We can't have that over here.
Shouldn't cost me money.
Yeah.
They're gonna save lots of money by getting rid of the people who don't want to be part of the system. But I'm over here like, I'm gonna take my treasures in heaven. Thank you very much. So yeah, but anyways, as I was saying, Leonardo da Vinci painted the picture of the Last Supper, and I'm laughing at all these Protestants who are saying, "Oh, look, they're mocking the Last Supper." We really don't know too much, probably what it looked like, right? A lot of times they tell us there's probably a lot of cushions, and they were more so towards the ground because it is a Middle Eastern country, and as Matt just said, he wasn't white, so we shouldn't
Yeah,
be
and
getting
they
too
all sat
detailed.
on one side of the table for the picture.
Yeah, right. Which means in actuality, they probably were sitting around the walls, right? And then you
Was
had
it a
like
booth? Like a horrible booth spot is all they had.
I was like Mel Brooks did in the movie. He's like, oh, all I have is one table by the corner. You have to
Yep. Yep.
kind of what, yeah. Anyways, but and again, what have they ingrained in our society? Oh, this is normal. This is what we're supposed to expect. Which again, I just said Mithra, which is a counterfeit equivalent of Tammuz, Baphomet, Mithraic communion and ritual meal. The bottom here, but it's emulated up here. The table is the body of the bull. From left, Corax and Perses initiates approach while carrying a drinking horn. On the right, a Leo or a lion, and another figure, Miles perhaps, approach Patar, Mithras, Patar, which is where we get the root word for father, like Catholic Church, and Sol are at the table. In front is what might be a plate with 4 round loaves of bread marked with an A plus. This is from The Mysteries of Mithra by Franz Kumat. So, and who were they saying that this guy was? I can't remember. It was supposed to be some transgender, the big blue guy they had sitting on the
Yeah, I
front.
forget his name. Oh my goodness. Looks like
I can't remember, but if somebody remembers, write it down in the comments. We always could use fuel for the algorithms.
Yeah.
Please write nice things. But anyways, Da
Write
Vinci
anything.
painted.
No, write us very mean things. That actually
No.
gets us further.
Yes.
I'll argue
Yeah.
back with you. But Da Vinci, a lot of people don't know, but I triple checked on 6 different sources. Leonardo da Vinci, a Rosicrucian path. The movie of Da Vinci Code, a Kabbalistic Rosicrucian perspective. What's up with the Rosicrucians, which means the rows of the crossroads, basically. The Da Vinci Code of the Rosicrucians, again, another website, and the Holy Blood Holy Grail also mentions alchemy, which again, as above, so below. That is Freemasonry. Alchemy, we seize the elements, we can become our own gods. The true secret society behind the Da Vinci Code. And finally, on the Rosicrucian podcast, Leonardo da Vinci, artist, scientist, and mystic. Not a Christian. So don't buy what he painted thinking that that is how we're supposed to view it. I was watching a movie. I can't remember the name. It's like Quo Vita with Robert Taylor back in the 1950s. And I kid you not, they had a thing where they were talking about when they were having a supper with Christ and stuff like that. And then they had the actors all do, talking, and they did the pose. They all froze them on screen. And it was just like the Da Vinci thing. And I was like, and it was obviously a Catholic thing because they emphasized Peter all dressed in white. They had like a little bit of a glow on him sometimes. And as well, the lady was praying to a cross on the wall. So not biblical. You're not supposed to pray to any symbols. That's not a Christian symbol anyway. It's a Kaaba. It's the equivalent of the Kaaba key that you wear on your head if you folded it up. It represents earth. Christ, what did he do? He picked up his cross, the things of this earth, and he died to it. The word died to the things of this world. He conquered that. The word is still alive. The cross, what did they do with it after they were done with it? Think they kept it? Probably not. The world perishes, but my word will never perish.
Russia still apparently has a piece of it.
Of the cross?
Yeah.
Dude, whittle that thing down into a bunch of arrows for the end times and just be shooting demons with Christ arrows, right? It's got
That sounds
Jesus
so
blood on it.
It was part of a piece of wood.
I probably
you
shouldn't
know?
have said that.
That is so Catholic of you. Sorry,
Let's
Catholics.
do it.
I had one lady. She got so upset with me. She's
You
like,
could sell them to somebody at least.
actually, I think it was on our episode, Counterfeit Christianity to Catholicism. She says, "How dare you, or shame on you. If it wasn't for the Catholic Church, we wouldn't have the Bible." I'm like, if it wasn't for the Catholic Church, we wouldn't have had the Spanish Inquisition, where they were killing people for reading the Bible.
Yep.
I don't care, dude. I don't care about your denomination. But anyway, this is just up close. If people wanted to, I couldn't see. I'm just showing, and again, Mithraic iconography. For me, I don't see what others were seeing. Everybody was getting more upset about this over Trump's blasphemy, right? They don't care about when Trump has a thing with, a tunic of the American flag wrapped around his waist and he's hanging upon the cross with Pelosi poking a spear into his side. That, totally fine. This, we are very much offended. Come on, MAGA. You have such double standards, and I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I thought he was
Trump's
a
such a
Christian.
weirdo.
That's the thing. How are you gonna play the Christian card the whole time? And meanwhile, America is in a synagogue somewhere in whichever town that was. I forget. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. But again, the leader
Hard.
representing the New World Order, kind of doing the come at me, bro pose. It's kind of what I was seeing. Could be wrong, but it just kind of was. For me, it looks like it's kind of almost like a boastful statement. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Arms
yeah.
wide open. I'm here. I'm right now. I'm in the open. You
Mm-hmm.
guys know who I am.
Yeah.
This is
Soaking
kind
up
of
the love.
yeah,
Yeah, that's like about as like open of a position as you can be, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's all on there for display. And again, I'm not sure if that was Tom Cruise that was in that thing, but we already know he has the connections to the Church of Scientology. However, I just find it interesting that a lot of Christians, it's kind of becoming like the modern Pharisees, or let's call them churchians, right? Modern Pharisee is a churchian, is what I call them. They know the word, quote unquote, but they don't understand it. They don't have any Holy Spirit discernment to understand what the word is saying. Where there's others Christians, true Christians, and we're looking at this going, it's so obvious, and the blasphemy is really irritating me. There's other people I know in DMs. We're having conversations and chats. I'm not going to say what what the group is, but they're ignoring all the stuff that we're posting constantly on Trump in the DMs. Why? Because they don't want to confront it. Why? Did you vote? Are you still a patriot? Do you still, because if you start acknowledging the blasphemy, they go, well, Obama did it. Well, Bush did it. Well, this one did it. Not
It
at
doesn't
the
make it
scale of
like
this guy,
like that doesn't get you out of murder, right? Like,
right?
well, like this guy did it. That makes it cool.
Obama and Bush did not make a Bible,
Right.
right?
And write their
They
name above the holy word of God. I kid you not. That's where he always intentionally signed his
he
name,
didn't even put his hand on the Bible during the inauguration.
which is as above, so below, as the same
Mm-hmm.
pose that he did. Yeah,
Yep. He knows what he's doing.
they don't. And you want to know why he did it for the first one, but not the second? Because you'd be acknowledging the New Testament, which means the fulfillment of the word, the covenant. That would mean Christ. And if I do that, I'm acknowledging Christ. If I don't put my hand on it, what am I stating?
Huh.
Substitute.
Yeah.
Again, here's the thing, folks. You're expecting a literal declaration, I am God, right? Which we're very close to them sacrificing the red heifers. And he just did this Trump Gaza thing with the golden statue. For me, it's like some of us have already been seeing it symbolism wise that we don't really need a declaration of that to be heard. We know,
Yeah.
but
You've made your
everybody else, they're
declaration.
playing. Yeah, they're playing because they really do not understand. They don't have any Holy Spirit discernment. For those of us who are in the Word, what does it say? He's going to deceive, if possible, the elect. What is the elect? The chosen. Who is the chosen? Christians, those who obey and abide and implement the Word of God into their lives. So, in contrast, what do we have? Christ going up into heaven. This is him coming down. They're Apollyon equivalents, Sol Invictus, and again, you notice the light shining over him and all that. Again, in the Mithra book, the ascension after the sacred meal, the Last Supper equivalent of Christ's pagan doppelganger, Mithras gets into Sol's horse-drawn chariot, similar to Elijah, heads up to the sky or the ocean to fulfill his role as the cosmic ruler. The ocean, the crystal sea, are they already? I find it interesting, dude. Like even the pagans are acknowledging something up there with the. I don't know, but the Leon, whatever, lion-headed one. Let's keep it simple. The
Yeah, that makes
lion-headed
it easy.
figure found in many Mithraic temples has been something of an enigma. Its statues or paintings have always depicted with it a snake winding around it. It is standing on the cosmic sphere and holding a key in the right hand, and its body is often decorated with the signs of the zodiac and stars. In some mystery religions, it is known as the Agatha-daemon. Yeah, the god of the spirit friend, where it acts as the doorkeeper or the door opener. We can consider the seven grades of Mithraic mysteries to be the symbolism of the ladder and the staircase with seven gates, each associated with the ascension. Again, that is the chakras, the gates, St. Peter at the pearly gates, right?
Yeah.
And the key,
Yeah.
when I was showing you guys that photo before with, in his hand, the kid in the center, he's doing the as above, so below. He holds a key in one hand and an anchor in another. Anchor, hope, and Freemasonry. Key to what? To unlock your God potential. So you can ascend to be like your Mithra Tammuz
He literally looks like he has like a snake around his waist almost, even from this angle,
Yes.
wrapped around him, and then the decorated with the signs of the zodiac and stars. It's like, man, that looks pretty cosmic too.
That's what I'm saying. And again, this is not part of the book.
Like
I'm
me,
reading a book going,
you can ascend above men.
right,
Yeah,
right. Or you can. So again, with the whole thing with the Big Bang, what is that ultimately telling us? You're telling me that there's cosmic meteorite tumbleweed comes pummeling down to Earth, boom, and then it becomes like a sea urchin, becomes like a little toad, whatever thing, comes on the Earth,
yep.
Neanderthal, whatever, something, man. And it's like, no, no,
If
there's
if you turn his legs too, a little bit, he's making the sigil of Satan,
yes, but even with
right?
that
Like
one,
straight, and then it crosses, like the arrow there, and then it crosses.
he's doing two poses with that particular one. He's doing the Key of Solomon,
There you go.
and he's also doing the P for the what is it? The cat, not the Catholic, Orthodox.
Okay.
That's the P from again. It's in Mithraism. That's the P and the X. He's doing the P right now. I'm just finding it all very
Yeah.
interesting. And
Yeah.
again, doesn't his hands kind of look like Edward Scissorhands?
They do. They
They
do.
look
I
like
was
that,
thinking
or
that the
like
first time I saw it. I was like, yeah, that's like Edward Scissorhands
the
or something.
Grinch. I thought
Yes.
of the Grinch with like his hairy hands because they have like long hairy nails.
Where do you think the inspiration comes from all of this? This has to have some sign of lore because we all
Mm-hmm.
know that most of them in there, like let's say 90+% of Hollywood, all has this inspiration and lore. And as they're going up, they're like, hey, you did a cool movie. You want to go up a grade? Fine.
It's
Okay.
true. You did Mission Impossible.
Right. Right. Now let's try to do a new a
Yeah.
new mission. And again, with Project Bluebeam, let's say again, they're all talking about this rock that's going to hit us in 2032, right? But allegedly, we also have Apophis that's supposed to happen in 2029, which I think is possible
The
because
race.
excuse me, Google Years Ahead has Alien Invasion for 2029, right before 2030. Maybe there's something there. And what's going to happen? Let's say that's another like Wormwood. After you kill the Saints, right?
Yep.
Let's say 2025 we started, or we're going to start sometime this year. And let's say you kill the Saints, and then you have Wormwood that comes and crushes, or Apophis. What are you going to need to explain to everybody that's still here? Project Bluebeam.
Yep.
That's when you would do the okay, the angels would be cast out of heaven, and you need an explanation. And what would you need to explain? These beings coming down from above. Oh, he's returned, right?
Huh.
Disguised as an angel of light.
Yep.
Similar to both their lores, and interestingly enough, Hermes, who Trump has name etymology to, he was nicknamed the messenger between the gods. I'll negotiate. I'll make a great deal.
What a lucky guy.
Take me to your leader.
Could you, speaking of messenger to the gods, could you imagine being like the who it was Enoch when like Shemyaza or whatever, all the other fallen angels were like, "Hey, go speak to God for us," and it's like that kind of had to be scary. You're like, he's already pretty mad at you guys, but I don't know if I should go talk to him too. Like, hey, Dad, I know you already grounded him, but I'm on their side.
Yeah, can you only imagine like
go send
going
Uncle
in?
John to talk to him.
Yeah, don't
Like,
do that.
dude, I didn't grow up with siblings, but like, did you ever have to go talk to your mom after your sister just pissed her off?
Oh yeah,
I mean, dude, you don't want to do that.
that's usually when you look good.
Yeah, or they
Yeah,
make you
like
look
if you
really
need to go
bad.
tell her about like the bad grade on your report card, like, oh, look, like by the way, while you're mad, like
Yeah, I know.
I'm
When
not
I go
gonna be
mad,
this mad. Like,
Yep. I
we're gonna
don't
do an
know.
upgrade. Um, so the CERN hard run colliders opening stargates, and again, we just had a certain thing, Stargate, within 2 to 3 days of Trump's thing opening up with Larry Ellis. I was just chuckling because nations were deceived by your pharmakia, sorceries, big pharma. But CERN is named after Cernunnos, the horned one, is what that translates to. The Celtic Lord of Hell, equivalent of Osiris, aka Nimrod. At CERN's headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland, is a statue of Shiva doing the cosmic dance of destruction. Shiva is the Hindu avatar that parallels Nimrod, who built the Tower of Babel. CERN's Hadron Collider's rings mirror the spirals of Saturn. In the occult, Saturn is the dark sun or the prison planet of the fallen angels. CERN is designed as a teleportation machine to Saturn. The secret mission of CERN is to unleash Apollyon, and the dark angels from the abyss, and to create a stairway to heaven to make war with God Almighty.
Is that quantum? Is that the quantum realm there?
Hell yeah.
And
This is
ironically,
big Tom Horn stuff. I love Tom Horn. He's gone now, but yeah.
granted, that's when the buddy who got upset. He's like, "You're posting stuff on Tom Horn, and he's like a big psycho fan. I had to get rid of his book because he was idolizing him." I'm like, "Yeah, but he also was
Yeah.
calling out like they're calling him the Messiah. This is kind of
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
again, does
take
that mean
everything.
everybody's right? No. Does that mean sometimes you can publish a book and be wrong? Like Rob Skiba, originally he was saying planets,
Yeah.
and then he writes a whole thing on it's now flat Earth. Can people be wrong? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like take it with a grain of salt. Not everybody is like intentionally being misled by design, or
I
like
think
most
it's
of
more
us.
dangerous to be like, no, this is the way it is because that's the way we're told.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's dangerous is that you can't sit back and like for me, okay, I wasn't taught that, but what do you have? And then I'll come to my own dang conclusion. But my main thing is there a book additionally that I could read for myself? Is there history that can prove that a secret society was involved with what you're telling me? Like I can come to my own conclusion. I can hear what you're saying, but I also want to do a little of my own digging. And if as you dig and find that there's a secret society within history and or whatever connected to this, that's when I start going, okay, I
What
think
were
you
the
got
real intentions then? Yep.
right. What's the
Right.
intention? Why was this done? Should I be open to changing my opinion? Because what are we are living in Satan's dominion. So what are they going to tell everybody living in Satan's world? Believe my lies, believe my version. That's all I'm saying is just be wary as Christians. And interestingly enough, Shiva is doing the pose of the cosmic dance of destruction is the same pose as the Star of Remphan when you count the 6 points of what he's standing in. CERN's logo is 666. And CERN gave us the internet, place for tomb or corpse, like as we covered before. At the 2024 Olympics, we have a hymn to Apollo and the guy standing in the middle of a portal, being spun by black figures.
He looks like Timu Elon.
Or a clock, right?
Same crappy tux too. Well.
Yeah, dude.
I feel so bad for them because, dude, for me, they're censoring guys like ourselves with our shows, and I think you've even noticed like you tried sharing some of my stuff and you said you can't find it or whatever, and they're doing that because they're absolutely terrified. When I shared the thing with Elon and what Netanyahu sitting in that little scooter going through the Tesla plant with the funny little music going on, they censored that up the wazoo too. Why? Because
Oh
they
yeah.
so embarrassed because they do realize how silly and stupid they look, and they want to keep that image pristine as long as possible. But here's the thing: as a Christian, we're laughing at the prophets of Baal. We're doing Elijah saying, "Is your God really there?" Because we see how obvious it is in comparison. It's the one little joy that we have is to laughing with satire of going, "This is how stupid you guys look." Because we know where your eternity is and your punishment is going to be, and misleading all these people. So
Hmm.
I'm having fun. I don't really care too much about
I
it.
feel like that's how Jesus was in the Gospels too. He was kind of like an antagonist like that, you know. Like everybody, oh, you read it and you're like, oh yeah, he's talking to people, but when you really read it, it's like, no, he was doing it how you were saying it. He's like, oh yeah, really? You know, because you're
That's what I'm
stupid.
saying. Because when he calls out traditions of men, right, he's calling out Kabbalah.
Yeah.
And as I've done on other shows, I said, now listen to this in dialogue as I just explained what this means. Now think of that as the Pharisee. Because what did he just do? I literally just called out what you do in private, but he was
Yep.
doing it kind of cagily. Whereas when you get to Stephen, Dude, people are listening into this trial. Shut up. And
Yep.
somebody sat there, wrote down everything that he said, what they do behind closed doors. And today, this very day, we're reading about them making their stars onto Moloch,
Yep.
right? His death was worth it. But do you see the boldness? He says, okay, this is going to be my last moments. I'm going to call you guys out.
Yep.
And they hated it for it. And this is the thing, Christians, you don't need to be afraid, because what does he say? Forgive them, Father. Don't
Yep.
add this onto their things, because we already know they're pretty screwed up as it is. You don't have to. I'm just saying
Absolutely.
that's pretty. Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, back to a little bit more modern time, because this happened last year with the Sun Gate being opened at CERN, followed by the Olympics. Then the Sigil of Lucifer gates being open. It's kind of like, okay. So, Professor Higgs, who exited through the eclipse portal, Professor Higgs theorized that the existence of the mysterious God particle would be eventually discovered at CERN. He died on the very date that the gates opened during the solar eclipse.
No way.
Yep.
Did he make a portal?
You'll never know.
Yeah.
But again, an 8, which is again mirrored 33, around Easter Ishtar time frame. Again, I always say, when you have the 13-month calendar, add that to whatever's going on in the world. I think Daniel says we're going to have like 3 solar eclipses before the end times. Or
Who was that cult that was like trying to ride the Hale Bob comet? Why did I just like
Oh, they wore all black. Yeah.
was that the bald, creepy guy from the
yeah.
1980s?
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yes.
maybe they
Heaven's
just
Gate.
yeah, maybe that was like the one they missed, like oh
The one that got away.
Isn't that the comet? That comet passed when Mark Twain was born, and then it also passed
Yeah, every
when he
75
died.
years. Yeah,
they
The
should
day
have
he was
waited
born
for
and
the
the day he
eclipse
died.
though.
he was a 33 degree Mason too, so I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if he kind of. But I'm like, dude, I kind of do feel bad for him because he lost all 3 daughters too. That's just that's kind of rough. But
Yes.
Put all your
again,
eggs in that basket too.
so again, they were showing a ring hoisted in the complete set, and then the ring of power that seems to represent Lucifer's kingdom being established. Lord of the Rings, All Seeing Eye, a clock, right? Because that's kind of emphasizing the 4 points: noon, 6, 9, and 3 p.m. They didn't have to, but they do. So they're telling us maybe it's time. And what do we have during the inauguration? An incident with TikTok. And when you're looking at the Economics magazine, exactly at the noon point, you had the ring of Saturn, the eye, which again, Hadron Collider connecting with Saturn, the prison planet, and the all-seeing eye also on the cover. It's just making me go, okay, there's something going on here. Pentagram also is affiliated with time travel.
Huh.
Lucifer being exalted by the nations as they all raise him up, and Lucifer staking his claim in the earth.
Is that an Israeli flag?
No, it looks more Grecian, if anything,
Yeah,
There
I
you
but
was
go.
gonna say
Okay, yeah.
that's like a Greek. Yeah.
but it also could represent again, like the 2 Israeli on the Israeli flag, the 2 blue stripes represent the River Euphrates and the Nile River. Star of Remphan representing their new world order capital. That's where they want to have their UN. So maybe the waters equal blue on this thing, if you're going by that logic, and the white equals land, and you're the world ruler by that logic. Don't know, just a little something where I'm going,
Did you
Or Uruguay.
they
Uruguay's
yeah.
pretty close.
They also theorize they don't theorize, I guess, but there's like in the conspiracy world that the Hadron Collider, that one on CERN that you're talking about in their
yeah.
the Swiss French border there, was built on Apollo's or Abaddon's burial site.
And a lot of people have been trying to debunk it. And this is, again, where I always say deity telephone is their equivalent of an Apollo figure there.
Yep.
To name it after Cernunnos, which is an equivalent of Osiris, and or Dispatar, which is where we get Saint Peter. Dis patar, dis meaning set apart, patar meaning father, set apart father.
Yeah.
Again,
And
discernment, dis set apart, cern horned one, ment from the Latin meaning mind, set apart the horned one from your mind.
if Apollo is Abaddon too as well, right? And his bottomless pit, aka, CERN under
Yeah,
there, right? That would be weird if it is that burial site. Wouldn't be weird, it'd be, correct.
secluded in the mountains. Allegedly, where Lucifer was cast down was Phoenix, Arizona. There's a lot of people right now, insurance places, just like with Cali, that are canceling people's insurance contracts in the Phoenix area.
Hmm.
Phoenix, America was known as the land of the feathered serpent.
Yeah.
Phoenix, I'm going to be covering that. Yeah, that's touched on here. So it's just,
The
again, like
golden
the
age.
Olympics, rising from the ash. Yes, yes. Again, just showing that, again, they put this specific one at the very center, kind of like an all-seeing eye of the five rings. They're showing us. They're showing us. And again, doing as above, so below. Same pose. So the other aspect is a demon people rise up from the darkness of the smoke within the stadium while all of this is going on and stand at attention ready to serve their golden voyager, bowing down to the golden voyager as he approaches. Who just said golden age? Golden voyager. It's not too far-fetched. Eerily reminiscent of all bowing down in the movie Cell with John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson, where the last scene in the 2016 movie of Cell shows a large group of mindless people walking in a continuous circle around a cell tower. Cell phone, cell tower, transmission, 5G. Who signed 5G as we covered in Reading the Rainbow? It was Trump. It's
Yep.
an inverted sigil of Lucifer or Baphomet. And scientists warn us that they want to use people as antennas to power 6G by 2030.
With Neuralink or what? How you gonna make
They
him an
haven't
antenna?
really told us, but they've told us they have plans. I want to know what
I'm
power
sure
what?
I'm sure there's a Doge gonna uncover a budget of somebody was paid to figure this out.
Yeah.
They know.
The Matrix is right, man. They're just fueling us. They're just using us for fuel.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Or I mean, demons, they want
Yeah.
energy. They want, again, with Christ. He's casting demons out of people. Why? Because if you're slaying Nephilim, I don't care what it is. Just give me a freaking body.
Yeah, they need um like what's the of their peers, right? What's the word I'm looking for? They need like approval.
Right. It's consent. It's a contract, just like with vampires, just like with
Yeah.
most of these things. You have to consent. Same thing with skinwalkers.
That's why they want to be
They
so
could turn into
cool,
an
that's
animal.
why they're popular.
Yeah.
That's why the Nephilim are awesome. So you're like, oh yeah, that's cool, bro. Come on. I like this person. And gotcha.
Right. And this is why idols, if you're going by what Gary Wayne's implying, that they were able to talk or they're able to telekinetically speak, because again, when you got druids, or when you're even going back to ancient cultures over there, they were building it. We laugh at them and say it's stupid, but it's no better than like a Ouija board. If you know what you're doing and you want to imbue the spirit of the Nephilim who used to hang around trees and get a consultation for what to do, right? Now,
Yeah.
granted, does God ultimately have the overall say? Yeah. Does he always triumph over these things? Yeah.
Yes.
But people are getting it stuck in their head that, remember when we were traumatized by all that stuff? Which they're saying that might be the origins of like everybody having the phobia for clowns, or a good portion of people, because your ancestor somewhere experienced a very traumatic event that involved confrontation with the Nephilim. Whether or not that's true, I think there is, because Nephilim look like clowns. There's something there, dude.
That goes into like the monkeys beating up the other monkey for getting up on the
Yes.
ladder. Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And
That's
again, we
crazy.
inherit the trauma, but then some of us are over here saying, I'm not going to look around at the storm. I'm looking at the word. I'm looking at Christ. I'm looking at God's word. It's so powerful. It's able to create its own sentient force and be its own separate thing, right? Heaven and
Yep.
earth will pass away, but the word preserves. The word was put, again, you can't tell me you killed God for 3 days.
No.
You hear how stupid that sounds? Whereas if you say, I killed the creator's word, I literally killed the thing that created everything. I'm always trying to replicate, duplicate, and mimic. I'm always mocking and inverting, and I killed his word. And it comes back. You can't put the word down. That is the
Yeah.
ultimately, don't recite the dark magic to me, witch moment. Yeah.
And then you find out he's down in your lair for those 3 days, right? You're like, what?
It's like, sup?
I thought I killed you, but I just opened my front door for you and you were in my house. Yeah.
Literally. And it was an
Yep.
invitation on your terms. It
Hmm.
was, dude, if you everybody's going with this QAnon thing. No, that was a 5D chess move.
Yeah.
That, not what Trump's, whatever you think he's doing. That was ultimate. Because they
Yeah.
were literally going, we got him. No, we didn't. Dang it.
Yep. He got us.
Yeah, no, I think he got you. Oh, on a side note with the Doge thing, do you guys ever watch the Court Jester with Danny Kaye? Get it? Got it? Good? No? All right.
No.
I'm gonna be posting a clip. I literally was waking up, going to the bathroom, and as I'm half standing there, I'm like, oh, that's funny because there's a scene where he says, what did the Duchess do? What did the Duchess? The Doge. What did the Doge do? The Doge? The Doge. And I'm gonna do it like a thing when you're trying to explain the Doge. The Duchess with the Dirk, with the Duchess with the Doge.
Okay.
Sorry, you'll get it when I post it. It just made me laugh because I'm sitting there like half groggily going to the bathroom, just like, oh, that's funny. I gotta look that up later.
Yeah,
Anyway.
we're uncultured swine.
Yeah, pretty much. Stupidest things make me laugh. But anyways, Ephesians 2:2, in which you used to live, and when you followed the ways of this world, of the ruler of the kingdom of the air and the spirit, who is now at work when those who are disobedient. As I was telling somebody the other day, an NPC, which is a non-player character, something that's just programmed to react to sell you goods in a game, something that's just programmed to walk on the street when you're playing a game. They are not made
Be
to interact.
traffic. You're just
Right.
traffic. That's your
Yeah.
job. You're some of the worst NPCs.
But spiritually speaking, I think a lot of Christians who think they're saved but are not,
The swear in traffic.
they're not indwelled with the Holy Spirit. And so when you start telling them about this stuff, or you start speaking about conspiracy theories in front of them, and they want to leave the room like a certain individual I'm implying when talking about this, what is that ultimately telling me? I truly think you have a demon inside you because you have to throw a dig, you have to say something mean, and you have to leave my presence. You want to know why? Because I'm confronting you with truth. And again, if you're being disobedient to the word of God, isn't that going to irk you? Right? Because if you're already being possessed or you're being used to be a vessel, that's what I'm saying. Some people saying it's a bot. Sometimes you're just literally being the vessel to speak on behalf of a demon, right? Because you're actually speaking truth. So sometimes when you're typing, right, this is how I interpret it. Because I don't think everybody just sits there. No, it's over here saying, okay, I'm going to use this guy. I'm going to use this guy. Get online. Say something insulting. Go to send him a DM. This is how I view it, dude. Because you have Christ or God literally saying to Isaiah, "Whom shall I send? Send me." You have to volunteer and consent to be indwelled, right? If you want the Holy Spirit to be inside you, you have to be willing to go into the Holy of Holies and understanding the meaning of that ripping of the veil. You want Holy Spirit discernment because you're in the Word. I want to understand you. And the more I understand you and I look in comparison at the world, the more I want to cling to you. In contrast, yeah, sounds good, God, but now I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's not what God's word said. God knows my heart when you're confronted with the truth. You
Bible
start
buffet.
inverting God's word. You start taking God's word and justifying your lifestyle when again, in contrast, as I was telling my mentor, I am
Blowing up
telling
entire
you,
countries.
yeah, I'm telling you that I'm using the Bible to pull away and use it as a standard of being abstained from things of this world. And that's patriotism. That's your Christmas trees. That's your voting. That's your politician that you love so much. And you're telling me I'm wrong because the Antichrist has to come from Syria. If that's irking you, then you're not a Christian. Or in the very least, you're very milquetoast and you're lukewarm. And again, this is not me. What does God do with the churches and Revelation if you're lukewarm? Spits you out.
Spit you out. Yeah.
And I don't want that. This is why it hurts so much, because the Christians are the hardest ones to reach at this time. Because you're warning them with what you got, 5G, school properties, including playgrounds, residential areas, senior communities, and adequate safety testing, and works with mRNA jobs.
Dude, they give
Transmits.
schools so much money to put those in.
Yep,
Every school has one. I'm noticing. Sorry, just a
it's
weird.
all good. Citizens' rights and are circumvented and transmits excessive radiation, and it was Trump who approved these. Now, given what we also have with the purple lights going on, being put up everywhere, and these super bright headlights that are really not necessary, I wouldn't be surprised if that all has an interconnecting aspect, because I do not believe everything is a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it too, it's like, even if it's not wild, okay? Even
Yeah.
it's still like they're trying to manipulate, you got to squint because you're just getting hit with these things, these high beams in your eyes. And then you're like, what is that weird light? And, and then you're getting this radiation near you, it's still something for a purpose that they're like, oh, we can push them a little further with this, annoy them a little bit.
Well, it says the Antichrist can attempt to wear out the saints in Daniel and in Revelation, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm feeling it. I know a lot of other people are saying the time's speeding up, things are going on. And it's like, why am I having this bad of a day? It's I've had bad days before, but then it's like this is kind of getting excessive at this point.
Like, why does it keep compiling?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is this stacking up? Just give me a break.
Yep. It's for reasons.
Yeah, spiritual warfare. And monkeypox, closing ceremony of the Paris Olympics of 24, they had given us a hint of what is to come. Revelation 16:2. Then ugly, painful sores came upon all those that had the mark of the beast. Now, here's the thing. All these little beads, bubble, spores, an actual disease, and then they have a demon that, I think this is in Louisiana, with an all-seeing eye on his chest with all these little. And then they had this during whatever ceremony they had in the fall/winter of that same year. This happened a couple weeks later. The lady dressed up and she had all these little dots all over her. Between 5G, again, you turn that upside down, it's Baphomet's head.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not it was the specific whatever, or whether it's the AI one, maybe it comes in two parts. I don't know. I cannot determine that. But there was a guy allegedly who was inside. I'm not going to say the word, but he said it would be injected via the A one. He didn't say specifically what it would be called. He said when he joined the Illuminati back in the day, he said how they were going to deliver it. It wasn't going to be a chip. Now, whether or not he's right or wrong, I don't think if you're already looking like this and they're telling you they can put a chip inside you and they'll fix it, what if that's the thing is that you get panicked because you see this, and so therefore you run and say, okay, that AI, whatever Stargate thing, give it to me.
Yeah.
Stargate,
And that's what gives it to you. Yep.
correct. And was it ancient Assyrian text Babel translates roughly into portal of the gods, which we just had with the Olympics, right? Or gateway of the angels. Now, angels were known as star walkers. What do we put atop of our Christmas trees? An angel or a star. They were star worshippers in Amos 5:26 and Acts 7:43. What do they have highlighted during the Olympics? Was Israel with the star rampant? I don't know. But I'm seeing them kind of showing us something's about to kick off. They're even showing us a dome under a dome when they're doing the freaking continents, right? He has made a tent for the sun. Psalm 19:48. Who stretches out his heavens like a curtain and spreads them out like a tent to live in. Isaiah 40, verse 22. Now, again, how does Christ return? He will roll back the clouds like a scroll. What is a scroll? Is it flat when you put it down?
Yep.
It should be because you have the two little things of wood. It's going to roll off. Can't. No, if you need to put it down on a surface and then scroll them back. That's just how it works. He set the earth on its foundations so that it should never be moved. Psalm 104, verse 5. He has fixed the to be firm, immovable. Psalm 96:10. Not me. You're debating the Bible. Have fun with it. So again, the Olympic gold medals, they're showing an angel or a winged deity with a trumpet. The trumps shall sound. Again, this is from 1908, which originally it had 100% of gold. Now it is less than 1% with the gold medallions that they give out.
Hmm.
And again, I just find it interesting. They have a fire, just like the Statue of Liberty.
Like we don't even send our A squad there anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like we send the
The
B
worst of the
athletes,
worst.
like the ones who do do it for money, do it for money. They don't go for gold medals.
Right.
You have to
They're like, how much
be
do I get for it?
well,
Yeah,
you
like
have to be an amateur to compete in the Olympics, except for like basketball. You know,
Really?
yeah, most of them have to be amateur stuff. That's why you see like no names in it and whatnot.
yeah, because I mean, there's no money in it anyway. So I
Yeah.
mean, you might as well just accept your fate.
I love it.
Well, I mean,
So,
you've
so
already,
that's why they're able to get the what was it,
Like,
the
hey, you might
Romanian
get a
Yeah.
sniper
Wheaties
dude.
sponsorship.
yeah, you
That's
can't.
cool.
You're not going to put one of these guys who's already, LeBron James is already doing his ritual. He's not going to go sit through this.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
and
So they
play
might be that.
against like some country's best, which I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, really, I gotta go play against, I don't know, the North Koreans or something, you know? Like, I don't think they get invited, but I mean,
Oh, I feel so
a
bad for
nice
North
gesture.
Koreans. It's like, do you think they know that the rest of the world is nice?
I think it's probably peaceful. Ignorance is bliss.
Some of them do. I know there's I think I was watching a clip where a guy he was sitting they were sitting in front of a whole bunch of computers and they're noticing that most of them were just staring at the same screen for like over 20 something minutes that they're all standing in the room. And there was actually only one guy that knew what he was supposed to do, and that's the guy they brought him to talk to. And he's like, "So what do you do here?" And he's over here like, "Oh, this is like my area of expertise." And he's like, he totally didn't know what he was doing. He was just the only guy that they had to talk to. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like imagine if you did it so bad, they're just like."
Oh, that's crazy to
I
How do
me.
drew
you
the
you
short
get
straw. I
fired
don't know
from
what the internet
communism?
is, man.
Yeah, I did see a clip of one of them in like the grocery store, and the fake people are standing in there, and the guy actually goes in and he's like, "Yeah, I want to buy this," and the worker's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
They're like, "I don't know how to sell it to you."
Sell? What am I supposed to?
Yeah,
Our
sell
cash
what?
registers are made out of cardboard,
Yeah.
man.
That
Yeah.
toilet paper is not for you.
So the interesting thing I think I found with the fire, again, there's an all-seeing eye over the thing with the pyramid, right? Fire, Pi, Ra, Ray, Sun God, like you just said, it kind of looks like Ray, the sun, Ra, Sun God. And then mid in your midst, fire the sun god in your midst. So we're kind of getting a little bit of a, oh, look, you're a little god when you come and do this stuff for us. That's on our dollar. And Hermes, as I said, is known to be the god of coinage. Hermes with the inviolable deity, like we heard with Mithra, right? Originally, the caduceus was a rod or simply an olive branch. Who holds an olive branch in their claw? These are
Eagle.
entwined with garlands, crowns, aka corona. Later, they became serpents in the iconography of Hermes. The caduceus is shown as the winged entwined with two snakes, and that is Baphomet's manhood junk. He has the caduceus staff in that region.
Yep.
Just saying, I'm seeing a lot of this stuff, and again, pandemic could mean pandemonic, as in Pan, the Greek god or goat god of the wild, nature, flock, an EU. He is affiliated with sex, fertility, and often affiliated with panic, which Pan is where the root word panic derives from. Since he was the god of fertility, that leaves him with a connection of spring, which we have with March, Aries, which is right around the corner of the spring solstice, which is March 1st for the pandemic.
Yep.
Now we just had that thing with the helicopter crash in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And just before the other pandemic, we had Kobe Bryant die in a helicopter crash.
Mm-hmm. The goat.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, Bible talks about separating sheep from goats, right? Corona beer was advertised in Captain America at the end of the movie when he runs out of the hospital and he's trying to figure out what century he's in. They had Corona beer, a spike virus, and a mask. And now we have a movie called New World Order with Captain America in theaters
That's right. It did
a-
just come out.
with a big red guy,
Mm-hmm.
kind of similar to the big red lady person. Just, are they telling us something?
Yeah, or the big red guy, MAGA.
Yeah. And again, we've seen that clip before, but it's just talking that God made Trump to be a shepherd unto mankind. Was it sheep from the goats from Matthew 25, verses 31 through 46? Right? Again, goats are affiliated in Masonic lodges, as it has been in all these little postcards. Riding the goat, right?
What?
Baphomet.
Riding the goat? That was a Simone Biles. Her T-shirt said that. Remember? And it had the Masonic.
Did it?
Yeah, and it said "Ride a goat."
Thanks. You just gave me more evidence. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
on the
yeah,
one where it was
she's no
standing on the
Christian.
pyramid. That's
She's no
crazy.
Christian. She's following the Antichrist Christian.
Mm-hmm.
They're hermaphrodite. And again, Snoop Dogg was wearing at the Olympics a necklace with a Baphomet goat. This is basic Google images you guys can look up if anybody's wanting to challenge me and be like, that's AI or whatever. But then Trump, his son, I think you shared this with me as well. Donald Trump Jr. posts goat with Trump staring at himself with a goat staring back at him in the mirror. And he also does the $100 bills of "In Trump We Trust" with gold horns on the goat at Mar-a-Lago,
Yep.
which
And
is the greatest of all time.
like, look at
Really?
the goat face that he picked for the mirror too. It's like, dude, I've been on a farm. I've seen goats. There's cute ones.
Right,
Okay. Why do they always pick the sinister horror movie looking goats?
right.
That's like a troll goat, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's not a fun one.
That's
It's
like
a
a
Judas
billy
goat.
goat that hides under a bridge, dude.
Yeah,
That's a mean goat.
Yeah.
it's a meme because they're memeing us. They're joking at us because it's so freaking obvious.
Mm-hmm.
They tease us all the time with predictive programming. The opening ceremony of the 2012 Olympics featured a giant figure of death holding a needle, with doctors and nurses dancing like zombies around children in hospital beds.
Seems appropriate.
Right?
Yeah.
But it gets better. In the Spain Olympics of 1992, did you know that the Olympic ceremony featured a ship floating on a sea of cells? Monsters and an evil virus attacked the passengers on the boat. The ritual featured blue germ balls, spiked proteins, and dead humans, and a black hydra. Now, when they're pulling out the elixir ramifications in people's veins, it looks just like these black vein technical things, which people have said when they put it on glass, it's starting to move.
What the heck? I have seen all that, but what, 1992?
Yeah. And I watched the video to confirm that I wasn't like, oh, come on. It's no.
And
Yeah.
it's like, what would you do this for anyways if it wasn't?
Letting us know. So the Olympics, ultimately, what is it doing? It's championing the return of the Nephilim, the Titans, right? And this is what Gary Wayne's stuff goes into. This is what, again, I'm just going off of what they're talking about, but talking about a little bit more modern, what they may not have time to divulge into, but some of us are seeing. Like the golden calf head that they had at the Olympics, representative of the Apis bull associated with Egypt, and among its many meanings, represented strength, vitality, and the reigning monarch, not
Yeah.
God.
Or the
And
idol that Moses climbed the mountain 15 times for and they were making.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
Come back
represented. So
here,
cheating on the honeymoon.
Yeah.
It's what it represents, dude. Thus Mithra, the god, changed the heavens, could now be accepted as the one who sacrificed the bull. But unlike in the Ahriman myth, which is supposed to be affiliated with the pentagram, his motive for doing so was to permit the salvation of us all. It was here to influence the Hellenistic ideas, also became part of the milieu. The bull, Taurus, aka April, end of March, was sacrificed, causing the heavens to change rather than remain permanent. The blood spilt became the pathway of rebirth and salvation. Now, what is it about the red heifers? Within a month and a half, month now, and bulls being slain?
Yeah, they keep saying
Now, here's the
perfect,
thing.
pure.
Donald is their guy who's going to perform the Pteronoctony, the ritual where Mithras kills a bull. Mithras represents Apollo, Apollyon, and the bull represents God.
Dude, if Trump is at the ceremony of the red heifers,
And they say, "Oh, Mr. Trump, thank you for restoring peace in Gaza. We are going to offer you the first chance of sacrificing the red heifer."
yeah,
What is this going to be? I'm sacrificing a bull. I'm making that sacrifice.
yep.
What is he declaring? You are God. Now, if that happens within a month or so, if
Yeah,
anything else has not triggered or awakened you, my goodness, people, you really do not understand what sacrifice means
yeah,
as a
none of
Christian.
that even matters anymore because Jesus died.
Right, right.
But here we are. So why are you doing it, Donald?
I have questions. I
That'd
have
be weird.
questions.
Is where are they going to sacrifice it? Do you think that's why they instantly went and took Mount Hermon?
I Getting ahead of yourself, my good sir. But
Yeah,
yes, I
it
would
might be a
highly
little bit.
suspect because what is that doing? That is enticing the gods to come back down to the coordinates 33.
Hmm.
I don't know, but I would not be surprised if that quote unquote triggers an event.
Yeah,
Just saying.
you're playing giant Ouija board at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah. Earth
I would not
Ouija
be
board.
ETH
if
Ouija
this
board,
even
pretty much.
if this happens, especially around Easter, April, Ishtar, Easter. I'm just saying, dude, for me, it's like it's going to be insurmountable. And as well, maybe if even on the 8th of April, because that would mirror the solar eclipse that just happened the year before and also 33.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if it happens, it's going to be like ding dong, you
And the
idiot.
planetary alignment, all of them too.
That's supposed to happen in the first week of March, this week forward.
Well, yeah, well, okay, because Easter will be April 20th this
It's
year.
April 20th this year?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
So it's getting closer to the end there.
Oh yeah.
Weird.
We're very close. Again, I was just talking about with the Spike Crown, also with Donald Trump's parents, Frederick Christ, Mary Ann, aunt's name was Martha. But they conceived a child to be the Antichrist figure. It's something that's out there, whether or not it's true. Trump happens to be in alignment with that time frame. Statue of Liberty, wearing a spike crown, corona, a crown, etymology, origin, meaning of corona, etymoline.com. You can look it up also as Collins Dictionary. Spike crown, spike crown, spike crown, Sol Invictus, spike crown, Helios, Liberty, Attis. And when you look at a lot of the stuff with Trump, they have him mirroring looking up at the spiked crown or sitting in Air Force One looking down at burning America, but the Statue of Liberty is what
Yeah.
he's looking at. Why? Why does he have Helios up in his penthouse apartment? Helios known as the god from east to west, and you have Bizbash, you have the Julian Express, the Sun Centennial, the Phantom Penth Post, Business Standard, all having the same phrase from east to west, a phrase affiliated with Helios. What I just say about the Catholic Church? He's this close to
East. Yeah.
dying, right?
Yeah.
Like, guys, so let's say it was like this. That Pope dies in March. The sacrifice occurs in April. Then we get into May, June, right? Let's say that's going to be something related with money, because that's when coinage, Mithra, that's his month, right? I'm just saying, for me, it's like dominoes. It's just going ding, 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 ding. I have a feeling things are going to escalate quite rapidly.
Have to. They have to.
Yeah. And again, it took place of all places in Paris with the Eiffel Tower of 33 meters high, aka 330, but take out the zero, same thing. And they're always showing that the Olympics, kind of like in a lot of movies, this dystopian thing of the Eiffel Tower falling over. Wouldn't you know it that the guy who created the Statue of Liberty slash also the Eiffel Tower was also a Freemason?
Of
And the
course.
tarot, not tarot cards, the Illuminati game has the like a light beaming and emanating out from the Eiffel Tower.
They have
Charismatic
to
leader.
they have to be a Freemason because like construction, was and metallurgy and stuff like that was the forbidden knowledge given by the Nephilim.
Yes. And if
So
you're going
now you're
by
a Freemason.
Cody 7 Club was hinting that maybe a lot of the cathedrals were forged out of mountains, and if the mountains were supposed to be former Nephilim,
Oh,
and that is a way of divination of the dead, because a lot of other times when they built temples, they would build it over the burial ground of a dead hero and or saint influential person. So it was
yeah.
a form of divination of consulting the dead. Cathedral, St. John's, but
Yeah.
again, charismatic leader in the month of July, same time as the Olympics. Trump gets his ear clipped, and he also says the phrase, "Christians get out and vote." After 4 more years, you won't need to do it anymore. We'll have it fixed so good. He also says enough is enough, or fight, 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 while getting his cheek clipped. Looks very similar to this Illuminati card game. As well, I just found it interesting, kind of wearing a little bit of a helmet, like an Adonis. This is him. This is Trump. People are saying he needs to be a lover of men too. Well, where's my Roy Cohn? Look it up for Vanity Fair for the magazine, but this is from that documentary. And is it possible that Revelation 17 verse 5, and upon her forehead was written, Mystery Babylon the Great, was that make America great again? I'm going to be touching that with debunking the Baphomet more. We're closing up. So there's, again, fire. Some people said it looks like a woman with bangs. Kind of looks like a
Yeah,
face.
it does. It does.
But
It
a
looks
person
like a
falling down head
cartoon.
first. That kind of reminds you of Lucifer.
Yeah. And he's gold, he's glowing. The light
Uh-huh.
bearer.
It looks like the thing from Elemental. Have you watched any little kid
Yeah, it looks like
movies?
Joy from
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
or yeah, it
like
does look like Elemental. I was thinking
Elemental
Joy,
or
but
Joy from that was
Really?
the other one.
Elemental?
Joy from
Alchemy?
yeah.
what's that the one that Joy's from?
It's the emotions one.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember it. My kids love it.
I know.
Emotions, did you say?
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying. But the 2024 Olympics closing ceremony, at the Olympics, a phoenix and air reportedly to perform at the closing. A phoenix? Interestingly enough, the movie Demolition Man, when we're supposed to have this meteorite as well in 2032, in the city of San Angels, a megapolis formed from the merger of Los Angeles, San Diego, and Santa Barbara, is a seemingly peaceful utopia designed and run by Dr. Raymond Cocteau. Phoenix is thawed for a parole hearing and escapes. Now, interestingly enough, they had in Italy the phoenix rising from the ashes, where it has Trump depicted as the God Emperor of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Donald, world ruler, UN citizen by place of birth. He's from the Jamaican hospital there.
Look at his knee. It's got Sol Invictus on it. And
Dude, thank you. Yes, exactly. I'm like,
Mm.
guys. And then the eagle thing, and an
yep.
eagle, interestingly enough, in the Hebrew word, I was reading in the book the other day, it was talking about, it's the same word for bull. So when we put a golden eagle atop of our flags or whatever, now I think it was something Harris. Can't remember the guy's first name. He's a big black conservative guy. Something Harris. I can't remember his first name.
Yeah, no idea.
I think Matthew's thinking of it.
Yeah, I'm
I
drawing
think you know who
blanks
I'm
on all
talking
this
about.
shit. Yeah,
You
on all
big
this stuff
bald
tonight.
guy.
I'm
I
just
can't
like
remember.
I'm like, okay, I know, I can see the faces.
Yeah. He's got like a little bit of a goatee thing going on. Somebody will remember. But he was posting that many conservative news hosts stated that this looked like a phoenix rising from the ashes after Trump's assassination attempt. This little
Yeah, it
eagle.
absolutely did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And people want to know where that statue's coming from, and that's not AI. Giant statue of Trump, Warhammer warrior figure in Italy. This was back in 2019, but God Emperor float.
Oh, that's hilarious to me.
Yeah, right? So when I was doing AI generator of 2024 presidential elections, again, I couldn't type in Trump's name. So then I typed in, all right, vice president. That's all I added to that. And this was the image that popped up here on the left. 4 horses, white horses, riding over the White House, and a dragon, white dragon, in the center of them.
Yeah.
I was
What
like,
the
I
heck?
didn't type in anything apocalypse. I didn't type in anything like why. And again, AI is controlled by these Nephilim guys. I showed this and to my mentor, and he's like, oh, it looks like Bill Clinton.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I was like, but he also could just as easily look like Trump from the back. A little bit more stouter, if you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, as opposed to Clinton, that's kind of like a scrawnier old guy. Just
This
was
looks
making
like
me go,
it looks like the fake Biden that came back 6 inches taller. Also,
exactly.
It
Or
doesn't matter
shorter,
whoever he is, he's on a horse and he's above you.
Yeah.
yeah, yes, that's exactly it.
But Revelation 6:2 talks about, and I saw a white horse, and he that sat upon him, and a crown, like he just put himself on with the White House, website, was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. White horse, Olympics,
Yeah,
crown meaning corona. And this is the last slide. Apollyon, Abaddon. We had, again, the 9 stripes going this way, 11 stripes going up and down. And you got 13. Add them all together, 9, 11, 13 equals 33. Trump's got 9 stars over one eye, 2 1 stripes. Polyon is mentioned in Revelation 9:11. President 45, President 47, 9/11. Again, America, land of the feathered serpent or the phoenix. Now, everybody's selling their insurance policies right now in Phoenix with what's going on with the Pope, right? And what's possibly going to be happening with the Red Heifers. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking we have a very short time frame going on with the 33rd Olympics. I think they were telling us some stuff. So, anyways, that is all I have for today, gentlemen.
Shabbat. The Shabbat Parah, where the red heifers, is March 22nd.
Ooh, okay.
So if they're gonna do it, that's the festival.
It'll probably be like a 2-3 day ceremony, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's probably got to be a while. I don't know how they do it. What do they just
Probably
murder a
like
bunch of
some
heifers?
fasting involved, I imagine. Yeah.
It's got to be.
Fasting.
That's
I'm
crazy.
I'm not sure if it was a joke or not, but they were saying that the checks that we're supposed to get from Doge is supposed to be on April Fool's Day.
Makes sense.
It would not surprise me, especially with this feast day going on over there. / that if it did, I would just be like, yeah, that's also when they filmed the moon landing.
I would like to think they would give us some of our money back, but they owe us a lot more than that.
No, like, dude, I hate to say it though. It's just like Elagabalus. He used to do lottos in the Coliseum, but sometimes you put like a snake in it or whatnot. What is that ultimately doing? Oh yeah, I'm doing this for you, peasant. When you should be giving us like 100,000 a piece, like the national debt.
Yeah.
But no, here's 5,000 some chump change for
I
me.
I showed
did
you
the-
the 2 different calculators, right? That I had taken back in like 2020 and then like in 20 like as soon as Trump got elected and back in 2020 before COVID, and it was like we owed like 157,000 before, like back in 2020. Now we own like 300 and something per citizen
Yeah.
just with our national debt. Like that's
I did the math the other
For the
day, and
stocks.
I asked.
I owe that, and I don't like. Where's that?
I took like the average, so I'm 36, right? And I was like, if I had worked 18 since 18 years old, the average time, and paid the taxes, and then I said, eliminate the taxes from the program that Doge found, right? Dude, and it said every American had been stolen from like $240,000.
That covers my debt and is enough for to retire practically.
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
And that was only making, I asked it on average of like $51,000.
At the
So
end of
nothing.
the day, who kicks out the trash though?
Yeah.
Not us.
Yeah, like I mean,
As I'm saying, if they give out this, universal income with Musk, I'm gonna be like, I know what, I'll take the 5,000, I'll buy a whole bunch of stuff and probably move towards off-grid scenario here.
What if
moving to
what if the
Uruguay.
kicker is like you have the 5,000 is going to be in Bitcoin for everybody or some kind of crypto?
Oh, if they do that, I'm gonna be sad. but I could see it. I could see it.
That's the hook. That's the catch.
Right.
Gotcha. Well,
I'll
anyways,
say no.
tell them where they can find you, Brandon.
Right here. No, I'm on Mana Daily Podcast, Spotify, Rumble, YouTube, and if you can, Patreon. I'm trying to do $2, $5, $10 as max, cap out, but keep it really cheap, so I keep the ministry going. And
Perfect.
then Krollology, Kroll, Kroll, ology, Laura_101. If you can find me on Instagram, a lot of people tell me when they try to type it in, they can't find me. So but I'm sure you could throw that into show notes. But again, thanks for having
Yep.
me on, guys. I think this will help a lot of folks.
I will throw your Patreon in the show notes too.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yes, I can get
Well,
onto
you know where to
that.
find it.
Yes.
He's
Thank
a
you for
partner.
coming on. I like the Olympic stuff too, because it put people like into a whole frenzy about the Last Supper and what. And then they were like, "Oh, it's the Dionysus painting," and it's
That was it. Dang it.
yeah.
All right.
And then
yes.
the Olympics even came out, the guy Jolly, right? The company that put it on, they came out later and they were like, it was after the Last Supper.
Yeah.
So, and people were still like, I don't know why you're so mad. And it's like, dude, it was mocking Christ.
Right. Well, partially. It was partially mocking Christ / it's our counterfeit that we're slurring right in there because Dionysus
Yes.
Nimrod. So
Worship
yeah.
him real quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
Inversion.
there was the blue guy too, remember? There was like that
That
blue
was
painted guy
Dionysus.
with his nutsack out.
That was him. That was Dionysus. Yeah.
Come on.
Don't need to
They made
censor
us
the
literally look
too.
at Mike Tyson's butt and Dionysus's balls in the same year. They got us.
Janet Jackson was wrong.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson was.
That was, yeah, she started this.
That was like the end of her career too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Justin Timberlake did that to her. She didn't even
At
do
the
it on
Super
her own
Bowl,
free
yeah.
will. Oh yeah.
Well, it was planned. They said it was planned.
Just like lights out that one year. I mean, come on.
Yeah, like the lights out. Yeah. Anyways, I'm your boy Michael.
And I'm Matt.
And that was Brandon. And this is the We Figured It Out podcast. Go check him out, though. If you like his stuff, watch the YouTube. It's plenty of reference material, and you'll see what he's talking about, right? That's the best part. You're not just hearing all this stuff where it's like, oh, man, everybody talks about something, Yeah, what do you hear this here, there? It's word on the street. No, it's books, it's writings, it's pictures, it's all that. So thank you, good sir. We appreciate it. And everybody, join us for the next one.